It gives me utmost pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to the Youth Convention of Pakistan. As it goes, let's bless this event by beginning with the precious word of the Most Gracious. I'd like to call onto the stage Mr. Abdul Wahab for the recitation of the Holy Quran.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين صدق الله العظيم.
Thank you, Abdul Wahab. Now together, let us all stand in honor of the national anthems. Thank you. Pakistan Youth Forum, PYF, ye hai kya? So to find out a little bit more about Pakistan Youth Forum hai kya, we're going to watch a short video that is produced by our very own team. So let's give it a hand for a small video.
दयार इश्क में अपना मकाम पैदा कर, नया जमाना नए सुबह शाम पैदा कर। खुदा अगर दिल फितरत शनास दे तुझको, सकूत लाला गुल से कलाम पैदा कर। मेरा तरीक अमीरी नहीं फकीरी है, खुदी ना बेच गरीबी में नाम पैदा कर।
Pakistan is now great conflict and it can never be undone. Pakistan! Pakistan Zindabad!
Moving forward, I'd like to call now to the stage Dr. Jamila Haq, Chairperson of Pakistan Youth Forum.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim and Assalamu alaikum. Before I give my opening statement, मैं सबको सबसे पहले यहाँ पर welcome करती हूँ. And the opening statement will be given in English because ये जो भी काम यहाँ पर दिखाया गया है on behalf of Pakistan Youth Forum, we, Pakistani youth, living here in United Arab Emirates, we have a lot of support from the international community and everyone who has joined here who have been very helpful to Pakistanis, even though they are not Pakistanis. This is for you all and, of course, our own people. I just want everyone to be gelled in, and that's why I'll be giving my opening statement in English so that we all connect, which is, of course, just through the spirit of giving and helping others. So again, Assalamu alaikum. I welcome you all on this wonderful and exciting evening at the Youth Convention of Pakistan on behalf of Pakistan Youth Forum, which is the Youth Club of Pakistan Association Dubai. This welcome is extended on behalf of a team of young minds who have worked within a short span of 2 years to set an example of a youth who can stand for a change, be influential and proactive, to create opportunities and platforms of their own to be heard in the community. Also work shoulder to shoulder with our elders to achieve the dream of our new home, Pakistan Center. Dear guest speakers, our partners, and most importantly, our audience, I hope that this entire event just serves much more than just a networking event. I hope that at the end of this event, it triggers us all to explore our own small ways to serve Pakistan so that we all are empowered enough to celebrate Pakistan. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jamila. Let us now come to the beginning of this anticipated event and to our anticipated first speaker, our Oscar-winning director, Ms. Haya Fatma.
Documentary filmmaking is a field of work that revolves around uncertainty. It always requires you to be on your toes. It always requires you to be ready to catch a particular moment. For instance, in one of my films, I was documenting the ethno-political violence between two particular groups in Karachi. I was filming with a teenage Pashtun girl whose house had been set on fire allegedly by another ethnic group. I was about to move the camera away from her to film her surroundings when I heard a quiver in her voice. I decided to keep the camera on her. I saw that the details of the day had come rushing back to her. She broke down.
हम लोग तो पर्दा करते हैं और उस दिन तो कुछ को देखा ही नहीं, दुपट्टा भी नहीं था और चप्पल भी नहीं थे, भाग रहे थे, सारे आदमी हमें देख रहे थे.
This was a simple yet poignant moment that put into context the effects of violence on a very human level. When we watch television news, we get to hear the statistics of an event. But when we watch documentary films, we actually get to know what the impact of that particular event has been on human lives. I'm drawn towards events that revolve around injustice and violence. Through documentary films, I try to immortalize these events so that years and years from now, people can look at my work and get to know about the kinds of mistakes their predecessors have made so that they can actually learn from them. As a young filmmaker, I believe that one should be aware of all the elements that go into making a film, which is why I often go into the field all on my own. I'm the one who does the research, conducts the interview, operates the camera, and records the sound. It's not easy because it pushes your limits, but you realize that you're capable of much more than you thought was possible. This is something that I was trained in when I went for my master's in news and documentary at New York University on the Fulbright Scholarship. I had access to a city that was brimming with all kinds of stories and a sense of diversity I have not experienced anywhere else in the world. I even got the opportunity to work at CNN and to report from the UN headquarters. When I returned to Pakistan, I continued to focus on making films that tackled a diverse range of social, political, and human rights issues. One such film was called A Girl in the River, that followed the story of a young woman who had survived an honor-killing attempt in the hands of her own father. The film caught the attention of the government, and they pledged to change the law regarding honor killings in Pakistan. Later that year, the film also ended up winning an Academy Award. That feeling was simply incomparable to anything else. The award brought a lot of praise and recognition to my team as well as myself, but at the same time, we also faced a lot of criticism. A lot of people complain about what they thought was a negative image of Pakistan. As a documentary filmmaker, I believe that our responsibility is to tell the truth, and the truth can be bitter at times. People say we're cynics. I'd say we're just people who don't want to give anyone the impression that things are fine around them when they really aren't. Despite the challenges we face as a nation, I consider myself an optimist. When I go out into the field to meet people from different walks of life, it gives me hope. The extraordinary way in which ordinary people stand up against injustice, the way people face some of the biggest adversities in life and stay strong, the way people overcome immense grief to start anew, all of this urges me to keep going. That is why the stories of our people cannot be left untold. My name is Haya Fatma Iqbal, and I want to make films that build empathy among people all across the world.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन, आप लोगों का बहुत शुक्रिया कि आप आज यहाँ पर हैं और आपको इस वीडियो से गुजरना पड़ा इस वक्त. Let me know, do you guys want me to talk in English or in Urdu? My choice? Okay, sorry. It's a very complicated situation. Okay, so you saw this video. I just deliberately had brought it here so that I didn't have to speak uncomfortably about my work. It's often very weird to say कि मैंने ये किया है और मुझसे ये हो गया है. I wanted to basically just connect this video to what I wanted to really share with all of you today. इस वीडियो में बात हो रही थी एंड में कि empathy build करने की बात हो रही थी, और empathy basically वो सिचुएशन होती है कि जिसके अंदर आप अपने आप को दूसरे की हालत में रख पाएँ, उसकी सिचुएशन में रखें और फिर देखेंगे वो किस तरह रिएक्ट करता, बजाय इसके कि आप उसको जज करें कि इस शख्स ने ऐसा क्यों कर दिया या उस शख्स ने ऐसा क्यों किया. And my point today, I mean, I was reading all of the introduction, I listened to some of what was said here and all the briefs that were given to us, and there was this question about giving back to Pakistan and giving back to Pakistanis, and how can people living here or the Pakistani community living here do that. And the reason why I wanted to bring in the point of empathy was because I feel that unless you don't empathize with people, you can't help them or you can't intervene in any situation. And why is empathy or the building of empathy necessary? वो इसलिए ज़रूरी है क्योंकि जब तक आप लोगों को नहीं जानेंगे, जब तक आपको उनके हालात के बारे में नहीं पता चलेगा, और जब तक आपको लोगों के हालात के बारे में नहीं पता चलेगा तो आप सिर्फ अजम्पशंस कर रहे होंगे कि इनको शायद ये चाहिए या इस शख्स को शायद सेहत चाहिए, इस शख्स को शायद तालीम चाहिए, बट हो सकता है कि किसी की ज़रूरत कम्प्लीटली कुछ और आपको पता ना हो. और ये बात करना इसलिए ज़रूरी है क्योंकि आप एक ऐसे मुल्क में हैं इस वक्त जहाँ पर आपके पास जो पावर है, पता नहीं आप उसको रियलाइज़ करते हैं नहीं, बट यू आर एक्चुअली वन ऑफ दोज फॉर्चुनेट पीपल who move in the right power circles, who have access to a lot of resources, whether it's Pakistanis or whether it's people from all across the world. You're sitting on this network of people which can immensely help Pakistan or Pakistanis, but before that, before you actually get out to use those networks, it would be essential for you to know what the scene is actually and what is actually needed, और आपको करने की ज़रूरत क्या है और आपको क्या शायद नहीं कर रहे होना चाहिए. For example, I travel for work all the time, like most of the people over here today who are going to speak next. And as I go to make documentaries, I realize that I know very little. मतलब मैं पाकिस्तान में जितना सफ़र करती हूँ, मुझे ये एहसास होता है कि मुझे कितना कम पता है पाकिस्तान के बारे में, क्योंकि हर कुछ एरिया के बाद जो है वो हालात बदल रहे होते हैं, लोगों की प्रेफरेंसेस बदल रही होती हैं, लोगों की जो सिचुएशन है, एमिनिटीज़ की, सिविक इशूज़ की, वो सब कुछ बदल रहा होता है, राइट. तो सबसे पहले ज़रूरी है कि हम पहले पाकिस्तान को जानें, और बहुत ज़्यादा मुमकिन है कि जब आप पाकिस्तान को जानने की कोशिश करें और जब आप पाकिस्तानीज़ की नीड्स को जानने की कोशिश करें तो आपको पता चले कि जो नीड्स साउथ में हैं वो सेंटर में नहीं है, और जो सेंटर के लोगों को चाहिए वो नॉर्थ के लोगों को नहीं चाहिए क्योंकि शायद वो उनके पास पहले से है. सो And I realize that that can be a barrier for you because you guys are sitting a bit away from Pakistan. So it's very necessary that whenever you get a chance to travel to Pakistan, you travel to different areas and you realize how exactly can I contribute to the betterment of your country or its people. And for that, you will have to actually get out and have conversations with people instead of assuming what they need about, what their needs are about. And in all the work that I've done, I get surprised about what people's needs are. मैं सोच के कुछ जाती हूँ कि ओ इस एरिया में शायद इस चीज़ की ज़रूरत होगी. And you talk to people and you realize scene कुछ और है. The other thing that I wanted to say in terms of contributing was that a lot of you, I've been talking to some of you, and and seems like quite a few of you were born here, and then you were also brought up here, and you don't travel to Pakistan very often, which is fine because obviously you live here and you have a life here. The other thing that I wanted to say was that you don't really need to go to Pakistan to give back to Pakistan necessarily, especially at people of your age. You may not, find yourself enough number of leaves to actually go or enough money to fly back and forth to Pakistan all the time. What you can do is you should try and start empathizing with the local Pakistani community here. Now you might think that you're already doing that because clearly all of you are sitting under a roof, under the same roof, but I would insist that even under this roof, there are people from Pakistan and there are people from different areas of Pakistan maybe, but you are all perhaps in one way or the other, you belong to a certain socio-economic class, you belong to a certain educational background, and perhaps one thing that you can do as Pakistanis living in UAE is to make the community more inclusive. And again, inclusion comes when there is empathy. तो इसके लिए आप क्या कर सकते हैं? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, ये कहने में तो बातें बहुत आसान हैं, बट आप काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें कर सकते हैं. एक तो ये कि आप नंबर 2 एक्सपैट्रिएट कंट्री हैं बेसिकली इस मुल्क में, राइट? यू फॉर्म 12% ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन इन अबू धाबी, दुबई एंड शारजा, व्हिच इज़ प्रीटी ऑसम आई मस्ट से, एंड जस्ट यूज़ इट. सो हाउ कैन यू यूज़ इट? Try to meet Pakistanis over here from different socio-economic backgrounds. Spend time with them. सही है? Now, what does spending time with them mean? I was just talking to Salman actually here, and we were talking about cricket and the cricket scene here. And I was wondering today earlier in the morning when I was preparing some notes for this talk, I was wondering what the cricket scene is here. और जो मैंने सोचा था वो तुक्का मेरा बिल्कुल सही लगा एक्चुअली. वो ये था कि सलमान ने मुझे बताया कि क्रिकेट के जो है कुछ क्लब्स हैं और वो क्लब्स आपस में खेलते हैं और बड़ा मज़ा आता है ऑब्वियसली, विच इज़ वेरी कूल टू हेयर. बट देन वो भी जो लोग होते हैं वो एक पर्टिकुलर क्या कहते हैं इकोनॉमिक बैकग्राउंड के लोग होते हैं जो आपस में मिलते हैं और सोशलाइज करते हैं और खेलते हैं. आई रिमेंबर, now you're going to laugh at this fact, but the last time I came to this country was back in 1993 when I hadn't even started to go to school. उसके बाद मेरा कभी यहाँ से गुजरना नहीं हुआ for some reason or the other. I always used to take the Doha transit somehow. So I remember that when I was a kid in 1993, I had come here with family for vacation, and we had some family in different parts of the UAE, and we used to live there. And every Friday after namaz time, there used to be a ground where a lot of Pakhtun laborers from Pakistan used to play cricket. And I was just wondering, and I asked Salman कि भाई वो cricket scene क्या है अब कहाँ पे? And he said that I'm not really sure, होती होगी अभी भी कहीं ना कहीं, but अब जगह थोड़ी कम है because there are more structures, but I'm sure that cricket must be happening somewhere. But obviously Salman was rightfully so aware of the club cricket scene, right? So you must, because you are privileged, you have the power, you have the access, you have the resources, try to reach out to that part of the Pakistani community which you may have never interacted with more than, hiring a cab or talking to the Uber driver, right? Talk to them, have a cricket festival, have a cricket tournament that involves those clubs and your clubs, ask them what they miss about home, because you are fortunate enough to have your entire families over here, but there are people who who don't even get a chance to travel that often back to their families. Their kids are there, their wives are there, their parents are there, and they work hard over here to essentially construct this country, right? And it's amazing, right? very powerful that there are so many people contributing to the success and the development of this country, and perhaps instead of always looking in the direction of Pakistan per se, or in that geographical direction to help Pakistan, perhaps one thing that you could do to give back to the community more, which is the backbone of the entire event today, is that try interacting with the local Pakistani population more. Ask them, talk to them one day. Ask them what they miss about home the most. If they miss food, try creating potluck, which involves your food and the food that they used to have back at home, right? Invite them to cook their food, you cook their own food, you talk. And this is something that's totally possible. This stuff happens in Pakistan, so I don't see why it cannot happen in the UAE. Your class, your age, your gender cannot be a barrier. Like, those things are very old-fashioned. Ab aisa kuch nahi chalta hai. It's just going to be an excuse, if anything at all. So try doing that. And then I was very impressed, actually. I was talking to you guys earlier today, and I figured out that there was this campaign that ran. I don't know if those people are here or not, but there was a case of 172 students who were unable to pay their school fee all over the UAE, and there were some Pakistanis, I see some of you nodding your heads, there were some Pakistanis who contributed and ran a campaign, and the money was raised, right? So yeah, it's very good. That is the right kind of activism, and that is the right kind of giving back, because not only should you have your eyes geographically in Pakistan, you should also have your eyes about what the sufferings of the people here and what kind of struggles they're going through and how you can help them, right? So that was a good example, and that is one thing, education. Ask them what else can you contribute for them. And the other thing that I wanted to say was that apart from focusing on the major things like healthcare and education and some training, also talk to everyone and get to know about their other needs, about their other aspirations. I'm so sure, I don't know what studies you guys have done, and some of you are doctors, some of you are dentists for sure. I've met some engineers, but I'm sure there must be artists and psychologists and development sector workers. All of you must be here, right? And you don't have to limit your activism to what you think needs to be done. There are 101 ways to apply each one of your degree to the need of your community today, whether here or in Pakistan, and try to think of creative ways. But you can, I believe, you can only think of creative ways when you start having a conversation with the people who live here, and then see what their needs are and where they're lacking. There could be some people who needed school fee here. There could be some people who might need school fee for their kids back home. And you can also, sort of transfer all of those things to that perspective as well. So please do that, because empathy can only be built by talking to people, by knowing the different areas and the different communities better. And that can only work if you actually step out of your comfort zone and say Assalamu alaikum and start talking. That is the only way you're going to do that, and that is often the best way to give back, because you shouldn't give back what you think should be given back. You should give back what people actually need, all right? And the last thing that I wanted to say for today was that oftentimes ये जो सारी बातें हैं बहुत बड़ी बातें लगती हैं कि अच्छा सही, मतलब अब ये हमें बताएंगी स्टेज पे चढ़ के कि आपको ऐसे करना चाहिए और आपको ऐसे करना चाहिए, which you have all the right to say, by the way, but I will say it nevertheless because I am on stage. Just kidding. So what I wanted to say was that never underestimate the power of one person, and never underestimate the power of you and your small group of friends, all right? Because अक्सर ये होता है कि हम कोई बड़ा काम सोचते हैं या उसको करने की कोशिश करते हैं, मगर उसके बाद एक पॉइंट पे चीज़ें फ्लॉप होना शुरू हो जाती हैं, because you perhaps were not motivated enough, or even if you were motivated, perhaps the company that you had was not fully sort of on point or on board regarding the plan. So think about, do know that you individually have a lot of power. I remember when I was in my undergrad, I figured out that I studied at the University of Karachi. My bachelor's was from there, and it's a huge campus sprawled across over acres, and I realized that all the people who used to work as cleaning staff used to also live on campus behind the huge mansions of the professors. They live in one-room houses, and none of their kids used to go to school. When I was 18, I decided that I would invest 1 hour of my university day every day and actually go to that area and start teaching the kids. And I started that, but my friends came immediately on board because they were fond of the idea. So don't ever think that ye to main akele nahi kar paunga. All you need actually to start doing it, essentially. There's so many things which don't require money. There's so many things that don't require resources. There are a lot of things which only require your energy and your time. And I believe there are a lot of opportunities in the UAE to do that in terms of you guys. And so start that and then see what happens, right? Do realize the power of your company and your friends, and trust me, always you will always attract people. You will always attract the kind of people that you want to become. So really, it depends. It all depends on what kind of people and what kind of human beings and what kind of Pakistanis you want to become. And there's so much to do. Do not hinder yourself by thinking that मैं ये करूँगा तो शायद हो नहीं पाएगा. Just try and think out of the box, break barriers. Think about all the things that have never been talked about. Think about all the things, all the needs, all the aspirations that your fellow community members might have, and you perhaps never had a chance to talk to them. Just talk, walk out of your home, talk, and start getting things done. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Haya. Formal hone ke chakkar mein it might sound a little bit impersonal, but with all our hearts, thank you so much for your words, for your work, and may I just say I really, really love what you're wearing. I really like your dress. And with that, it is my pleasure to call onto stage our avid supporter, founder, and executive director of the Comprehensive Disaster Response Services, ladies and gentlemen, Todd Shea.
Thank you. A lot of people, when they see my name, Todd Shea, S-H-E-A, they say in Pakistan, "Are you Todd Shia?" So I say, yes, actually that works pretty good. I'm married to a Shia, so that's also good. So I have been working in Pakistan for the last, 11 and a half years I've been in Pakistan. And thank you. A lot of people ask me, why Pakistan? How did you come to Pakistan? Why did you go to Pakistan? Are you a CIA agent? All these things. Actually, I came to Pakistan because there was this big zalzala, and I wanted to help there. In 2004, end of 2004, the tsunami happened, which also affected many countries, but I was sent to Sri Lanka. I went there as a volunteer for a few months. When I got back from that disaster, there was Hurricane Katrina in America. I went to that disaster. So the day that I got back from Hurricane Katrina was the earthquake in Pakistan, same day. I had just come back from my deployment at Hurricane Katrina, and my son is sitting there. Came into the house, and my son was 16 at the time, and gave him a big hug, and we sat down to a pizza, and we turned on the television, and earthquake in Pakistan is all over the place. So I said to my son, I'm going to Pakistan. Before I knew how I was getting there or who I was going to be going with, I knew that they would need logistics people. And I was just coming from one disaster, so I was ready to go. I Googled the Pakistan embassy number in Washington, D.C. I called them. I told them about my work, that I had just finished 2 large disaster deployments, and they gave me the number of a group of Pakistani-American doctors at APNA. So I joined the APNA doctor team and went with them. Just within a few days, we got to Pakistan and landed in Azad Kashmir, which I never even knew that for 3 weeks I was in Azad Kashmir. I met this young man here in the suit. Stand up for one moment. This is Asad Hashmi. Give him a big round of applause, because he's a... The reason you're applauding him is because he is a real hero to his nation. He was 19 years old, and pretty much right when I got off the helicopter, he was standing there. And him and several other young men and women whose schools and hospitals and villages were destroyed. His house was completely destroyed. He lost family members. And these young people, along with the doctors I worked with, became a team that I grew my organization out of. So I was only going to come for 2 weeks, but once we saw how bad the disaster was, they were sending more and more doctors. And the doctors liked the work I was doing logistically, making all of their schedules for helicopters, taking care of their food, their blankets, their tents, their fuel and generators, their security, their transportation, their liaisons with UN agencies and Army, all sorts of things that if the doctors had to plan all that, they'd never have time to treat patients. So I handled all their logistics, and they asked me to stay. And I really wanted to stay, so I stayed, and I stayed, and I stayed, until I finally fell in love with the people so much that I decided to start my own organization. I have been to Haiti, Japan, the Philippines, Sri Lanka, Belize, America, doing all kinds of disaster relief work in hurricanes and floods, earthquakes, wars. Everywhere I've gone, the people were very thankful, but it was Pakistan was the only country where they said, please stay. So the reason I've stayed for 11 and a half years isn't just because there's been a lot of disasters and a lot of need. It's because of the love of the Pakistani people. And I feel a lot of mohabbat for them as well. So this was me when I was 200 pounds. Now I weigh 330 thanks to the absolutely mazadar and laziz khana of Pakistan. And the places where I work, the people are so hospitable that you can't say no. They are experts in psychological blackmail. It doesn't matter where I'm at. People are so kind, and they have lots of food for me, and I love it. And they want me to have not just 1 plate or 2, but 3 plates. And I've enjoyed every minute. This is me with the Pakistan Army. We flew together a lot. I really had a lot of respect for these young men and women who served. They did amazing work. This is me in Banu, where I worked with Imran Khan for a year after the North Waziristan operation. And I spent a lot of time out there. Everybody thought I was pagal to go out there. Even Pakistanis thought it's too dangerous for you. But I can tell you in 11 and a half years, I have not spent a single dime on security. I have refused police and army security. Allah is my security. The people of Pakistan have been very good to me wherever I've gone. And I try to tell my fellow Goras and the media in America this thing too, but a lot of them don't want to hear it because they've heard only 2% of the truth 100% of the time about Pakistan in the media. So we try to tell them a different side. Yes, there is bad things that happen in Pakistan, but if you look at the news in America, you'll see that there's quite a lot of things that happen there, and there's things that happen around the world. Yes, there's bad stuff, but we always need to remind people and ourselves how many good people are there. In the villages, I've met people who many of you will never hear about, who are honest, decent, good people working only for Allah and for their humanity. This is in a medical camp in Punjab. This is with Imran Khan. A lot of people think in this picture I was yelling at him, but actually I was just briefing him on the X-ray unit. This was in Kamari when we were with Aman Foundation doing a medical camp. This is at the line of control near Sialkot, or the border, whatever you call it there. But we were there during the floods of 2000 and I believe this was the 2014 floods, yes, in that area. I also am a musician, so I get to jam with some of the best musicians of Pakistan. After 9/11, when I first started doing relief work, I was supposed to play a concert and I saw the towers on fire. I went and helped, and that was my first taste of disaster relief. And I just didn't have the desire to pursue music as a commercial career. 9/11 is where I saw that the world was really a lot more of a mess than I ever thought, and that I wanted to do humanitarian work. So what's been wonderful about being in Pakistan, besides the khana and the beautiful people, is the amazing music and culture there. So I have been on stage with Atif Aslam and Nouri and Strings and Sanam Marvi and this wonderful gentleman, Rahat Fateh Ali Khan. So it's been a really a treasure of my life to be able to experience the music of Pakistan and learn a lot of it. This is a little newborn baby at our SWAT Mother and Child Health Center. The young lady over to your left is Shanze from Florida. She was a volunteer, young volunteer. So if anybody here ever wants to volunteer, we do take volunteers. We love to have you. To the right is my wife, Saima, who's here tonight, and a couple of our staff. Our SWAT Mother and Child Health Center is about an hour north of Mingora on the way to Kalam. We've been there for 7 years since the floods and have been operating 24/7 ever since. But I really came here today to talk mostly about a program that we're doing. Yes, we do disaster relief and we do all sorts of other projects. We have a women's empowerment project where Saima takes the embroidered shawls and we bring them to America. And we're able to make more money there, bring it back and pay the ladies really good and keep that project going and raise money for our hospitals. But I really wanted to tell you about our youth program, CDRS Youth, because this is a youth conference and we have a lot of young people out there. So I want to show you what some of the youth of Pakistan are doing. The reason I started this project was whenever I would go and speak at schools in Pakistan like NUST and LUMS and medical colleges, kids would always come up to me and say, we want to do humanitarian work, but we don't know where to start. And even our parents and our cousins laugh at us and say, why do you want to do humanitarian work? Are you going to make any money at it? And I can assure you, you're not going to make any money at it. I own a laptop, a guitar, a couple shalwar kameez, a few t-shirts, a few books, and a 96 Chevy Lumina car, and that's it. So you won't get rich doing this work, but I don't have a single house in this world, but because of the work I do and because of the hospitality of Pakistanis, Pakistani Americans, British Pakistanis, I have 10,000 houses. So we do Ramadan food packages, and we're working on this Ramadan another round of food distribution. We have 22 chapters from Chitral and Chaman to Lahore to Karachi, and every month we're adding more kids that see our work on Facebook and want to join in. So this is part of the Ramadan food packages. This was the heat emergency, which was our first, CDRS Youth's first operation. A group of kids that I've been working with, giving computer lessons to younger kids at poor schools and giving them computer labs. When the Karachi heat emergency happened, we got them all together. We went to Abbasi Shahid Hospital. We worked for a week, giving out food and water and medicine, ice, and giving food to the patients, to the staff, to their attendants. And they received a medal from Karachi called Sitara Karachi. And that was their payoff. That was to be recognized for their work, meant everything to them. And it really energized them to do more, and that's when CDRS Youth really took off. This is at an orphanage where on August 14th, we did a program at every chapter. So we did face painting and we did art contests, and we went to elderly folks' homes, orphanages, and schools with our volunteers, giving out food and awards for the best students and face painting, just to put a smile on people's faces, because that's important too. I've even learned from disaster relief that putting a smile on somebody's face is just as important as medical treatment. This is Master Ayub's school. A lot of people may know that he has an open air school near Kosar Market. We work with him, and we had a program at his place. We also do cleanup in villages, in bazaars. This was in F9 Park, at Jinnah Park, where we clean up some of this plastic so that there's always time for a selfie when you're cleaning up. And we worked with Clean Green Pakistan, so we do a lot of collaborations as well with other organizations that are like-minded. This is my son. I told you about him when he was 16 when I first came to Pakistan. Now he's going to be 27, and this was him 2 years back in the Thar Desert. So just really quickly, just going through this, water projects in Balochistan, giving cows and calves away in Bawalpur and Sargodha, hanging out with the kids, which I always love to do, planting in Chitral because there's deforestation, working with bombing victims like this little boy whose father was killed and 11 members of his family were killed in Savan. We were able to get him back to health after his surgery. Some of our volunteers, like this young man, Akhtar, who lost his arms when he was a child, but he's a computer expert, so we give computer lessons to kids at schools and mentoring programs. We take an empty room and make it a fun place to have a computer lab. This was in Pubby, near Peshawar. So you can see that this is what we're all about, trying to put smiles on faces and help kids. These are medical students. This particular group was from Sindh Medical College, and they came up to SWAT to work with us. So there's a lot of different ways that people can volunteer with us. This is a medical camp that we did in Karachi. We recently signed a MOU with University of Management and Technology in Lahore to do a volunteer website for volunteers. This is a school that I was just at in Arangi, where we are providing water. This is a very wonderful young lady named Sarish Khan, who is the granddaughter of Sabiha Khanum, the legendary actress. She's making her first movie, and we're doing our women's empowerment project with her. This is in Sargodha, where we're working with ladies. We also have an animal welfare program. We're at Edie Animal Shelter here, and we're starting to help them because that shelter needs a lot of work. And this is a little cat that I saved. So we try to help everybody that we can, including the Billies. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Todd Shia, for bringing so much to Pakistan and for being as Pakistani as some of us would love to be. Thank you. What we have next for you is a little surprise. So without giving too much away, I'd like to call our very own Salman Qureshi to the stage.
Hello, good evening. Oh, wow. How are you guys doing? Great. When she said a little something, I was like, "Ye meri height ka mazak uda rahi hai." It's okay, it's okay. When the doctor first saw me, he also turned to my mom and said, "Koi baat nahi. Bade bade deshon mein aisi choti choti baatein hote rehti hain." So that's me. Wonderful speeches so far. Let's give them a round of applause for that. Yeah, wonderful. Very inspiring. And they've flown so far to be here. That's something. It's very nice for you guys to come and see that. I've also come from far, all the way from Motor City for tonight. But it was nice listening to Todd, mainly because he's Gora. I was like, wow. He was like Zalzala 2000 something. I was like, wow, Zalzala. It sounds like a concert. I wish I was there. You make everything sound so nice. He mentioned you're married to a Shia. I'm married to a Shia as well. Acha, wo kare to taliyan, huh? See, I told you. But it's so nice to find the person you love, because it's really nice. You find that person who loves you. Sometimes it's worrying because they love you too much. My wife, I feel sometimes she loves me too much. She's like, I hope nothing ever happens to you. What if you come under a bus? Oh my God, what if a plane falls on you? What if you're walking and someone hits you? I'm like, in all these scenarios, why am I dying? Kuch nahi hota. That's true, yeah, they think the worst for you. But I have to disappoint Todd somewhat. When they said like, stay, that's just our habit. When people are leaving, we do that parties, dawat mein na, khade mein, nahi ek aur chai ho jaye na, ek aur chai. You stand there for hours, I sometimes think, I'm like, maybe the British wanted to leave, and we're like, no, stay na, one more chai. Come on. Hey, I loved, I loved, you went to a lot of places, you're naming Sri Lanka, there was a hurricane, the Katrina, America, you reached hurricane. I'm like, Are the hurricanes happening because of you, or what's going on? You're following them? I don't know. I like to travel too, but it's a little difficult sometimes because I have to apply for visas. We're not as welcoming on the Pakistani visa passport sometimes, which is fine. I don't mind. We apply. I recently applied for the US visa, and it was quite an experience. And I realized why America is such a power. It's such a big power. There's a reason for it. Because they're the most intelligent people in the world. They have systems in place to catch out the smartest people in the world. I applied. The first question was, are you a terrorist? That's actually on the form. I was like, I don't know which terrorist is sitting there going, you know what, Abdullah? I can kill people, but I cannot lie on a phone. That's terrible. Thank you. I remember coming to Dubai the first time. It was a good experience. I landed in Dubai airport. It was so big, I thought that was the city, but I was like, no, the bahar bhi kuch hai. But my first experience with the immigration person was amazing. You know, I sat there, this lovely Emirati lady was like, she stamped me, she said, go, and I was going, and she said, a good luck. A good luck. And I was like, good luck to you too. I had a different experience when I went to Karachi. It was great because I grew up abroad, you know, and when you, unfortunately, when you grow abroad, you miss your country. You still love Pakistan, you still love your country, your culture, but you get confused when you go back home. I went back to Karachi and I was confused. I was like, I don't know where I fit. We have a house in Gulshan Iqbal, but I speak English. Am I burger or bun kebab? I don't know. But the Karachi airport was a revelation because you realize how close we are as people. We're very close. I was standing in line at the immigration and I reached for my phone and I accidentally took out the wallet from the guy behind me. I was like, excuse me, sorry. We're very close to each other. It's very nice. But I hate when you come to Dubai. How many of you live in Dubai have been in here for about 4 or 5 years? Give me a round of applause if you were not at school. Yeah. Awesome, yeah? I don't know why our driving license doesn't convert to here. Why? The Gora, you know, a lot of the European countries, they can convert it immediately. We have to give a test. Hey, have you seen the driving in Pakistan? If I can drive there, I can drive anywhere. Well, what's the problem? I remember driving in Karachi, I was changing my radio station. I leaned over, accidentally changed the other guy's radio station. I was like, oh, sorry. Sorry, Bhaisa. It's really close. How can... But... oh, God. I love this city because we have a hospital called the Saudi German Hospital. That's a great combination. Efficiency levels. I can imagine some guy walking in going, excuse me, doctor, I have a heart attack. Don't worry. We have the best machines. We have the best doctors. We have the best nurses. We are going to save you. Tomorrow, inshallah, come back. I grew up in Saudi, so it's okay for me to make fun of it. It's my way of getting back at them. I love superhero films here. You know, they're amazing. I love superheroes, Superman, Spider-Man. They're so fun to watch. I'm so glad none of them live in Dubai. Can you imagine their life if it was here? It would be terrible. Imagine Ski Dubai is falling down. Superman comes, saves the day. The government official comes. Thank you, Superman. Thank you very much. Superman, you're from Krypton. It's not on the 33 free visa entry list. How did you come inside, Superman? And also, you are faster than speeding bullet. You have 3 radars. Who's going to pay this? And this underwear not allowed inside the mall. Can you not see this? Please go. But he won't be the worst. You know, you'd have you'd have Iron Man. You know how Iron Man is like, I'm cool, I'm handsome, I'm rich. No one would notice him here because there's so many Lebanese going, I'm strong, I'm rich, I'm handsome. No one notices. But the worst would be Bichara Batman. Batman, no one, there's so many lights in Dubai, no one will see his bat signal. So he'll drive down JBR Road, add my WhatsApp number. Yeah? He'll drive Sheikh Zayed Road, the police would stop him. He's like, officer, I'm trying to save the city. Shoo save the city. This 100% makfi not allowed. You'll come outside. Officer, I'm trying to stop the Joker. Shoo Joker, you Joker. What is this Shela Abaya you are wearing? Yalla ta. Guys, you've been a fantastic audience. My name is Salman Qureshi. It's been wonderful performing for you. Thank you very much.
I'd love to say something to thank Salman Qureshi, but I'm pretty sure I'll fall short. Next up is no other than the founder of the Khawatoons, a lawyer turned comedian. Give it up for Faiza Salim.
Okay, so it says comedian here, but I'm not here to do my right now. Abhi sirf udasi ki baatein hongi. I'm going to tell you about my journey. Haya earlier said कि मुझे शो नहीं मारना और मैंने नहीं बताना अपने बारे में. But I'm just here to talk about myself. इतनी दूर मैं आई हूँ सिर्फ अपनी कहानी आपको सुनाने के लिए ज़बरदस्ती. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Faiza Salim, which is probably everyone here. I'm Faiza Salim. I'm a stand-up comic, improv artist, theatre actor, and Pakistan's first female social media entertainer. In short, I'm really sorry about the coughing. In short, I'm a comedian. Guys, what is this? मेरी नस्ल के जानवर कम ही हुआ करते हैं. खुद ही गंदा से मैंने जोक मार दिया फजूल का. Okay, so tonight I would like you to take away a few things from my own life experiences. First of all, don't give up on your dreams just because other people think they're not worth it. And by other people, I mean society in general, but also your own friends and family. I still have people asking me, but beta, what do you do for a living? Comedy is what I do for a living. Hey, your poor parents. इतना पैसा जाए क्या लॉ स्कूल में और कोई नौकरी नहीं मिली, कोई मर्द नहीं मिला. Just get married, beta. Just get married. Point is, they don't know your story, they don't know your struggle. A few years ago, I did have what a lot of people would call or consider a proper job. I was heading the law department of a public policy think tank and working on the loopholes in the criminal prosecution system of Pakistan. किसी को समझ आया? Heavy stuff, I know. But I realized over time that I wasn't happy doing what I was doing. Sure, मैं रोज जाना जाती थी रिक्शों में बैठ के थाने और इस उम्मीद पे सिर्फ कि शायद कोई बड़ी बड़ी मूंछों वाला पुलिस ऑफिसर मेरी मदद कर दे तब्दीली लेके आने में. पर अगर तब्दीली इतनी आसानी से आती तो और लोग भी ले आते. तब्दीली or change comes from personal initiative, and personal initiative comes from the heart. With time, I realized that my heart was not in the work that I was doing, that my heart was not in the field that I had found myself in, that perhaps my heart was never in it to begin with. So about 2 years ago, I decided to pursue comedy full-time, right? And iski shuruaat ek aise din se hui in 2015 when suddenly my father passed away, leading me to the realization that life is too short to spend it living in a box that is clearly not fit for me. मुझे लगा कि ज़िंदगी बदल रही है and अब ज़िंदगी कैसे बदलेगी थोड़ा बहुत मेरे हाथों में है. But I was restless for months. I couldn't sleep at night. Sometimes I would cry. I would cry out of grief for my father, and I would cry out of grief for the place that I was in life. So one day, I just got up from my desk and I quit my job. Just like that. कल आप लोग सब भी काम पे जाए तो यही करना है, सही है? 3 साल, approximately 2 years ago, I began pursuing comedy as a career. Comedy, my heart and soul, my passion for life. But that wasn't easy either. I was faced with a lot of criticism. मुझे बहुत बातें सुननी पड़ी. People told me that, oh, you're not good enough for this. Because you're a woman, and that women aren't funny. I was called names. I was told, oh, fahash ho, vulgar ho, and several other names which I can't use in this setting. It was family-friendly environment hai. But once I decided to go on that path, I realized that there's no looking back. Comedy, which is my only desire, my only dream, was starting to begin. Now, you'd ask me, why did I quit my job? Simply because I wasn't happy. And why wasn't I happy? Because I wasn't following a dream that I had for myself. I was following a dream that other people had for me, like my family, my friends, my teachers, even the neighbor's cat, but not me. So often, I did not want to be a lawyer just because I had a degree that verified me as one. So often we tell ourselves, I did not actually, back to what I was saying, I did not want to be a lawyer just because I had a degree that verified me as one, or because I had a stable paying job that made me shut up about the system. Now, once comedy started happening, I realized that, okay, maybe I could do certain things, but I can't do other things, right? I got comments like, oh, lol, she's so funny. She thinks she's funny. She's not. Lols, I hate her. Lols, Moti. There you go. One of my personal favorites was, I want to slap her till her fat jiggles. Say that to me in person and we'll see who jiggles what. Regardless, I went on to do ads for brands like Sprite, D-Juice, Telenor, and many, many others. I featured in a number of short films and music videos. I've done over 50 stand-up and improv shows. Recently, I performed at the Lux Style Awards, which is one of the most prestigious award shows in the country. I've also been offered major films, and I might even be doing one very, very soon, provided I can convince my mother that I won't be doing any item numbers. Oh, of course. Then there's my troupe, the Khawatoons, Pakistan's first all-girls comedy troupe. When I first thought of it, everyone told me that sure, it's a great idea, but that you won't be able to bring it to life, that you won't find the right girls for the troupe, and that even if you did find the right girls, you won't be able to train them. Yet, I gave it my all. I went to all lengths to recruit the girls, I trained myself to train them, and now we have the Khawatoons, Pakistan's first all-girls comedy troupe. It is also the first of its kind in most parts of the world, including South Asia and other places, right? We have no all-girls troupe, especially no improv. The Khawatoons, they've performed in major cities like Lahore, Islamabad, Karachi, obviously, but also in places like Topi and Rahim Yar Khan. And by the way, the Khawatoons, they're not just good female comedians, they're good comedians. लोग ये इस्तेमाल करते हैं एक्सक्यूज के हाँ हाँ शो पे आते होंगे लड़कियां देखने के लिए लड़कियां सारी ऐसी हैं कोई देखने नहीं आता. Now, the problem with us is that we wait for miracles to happen. We say that sure, we'll chase after our dreams, when something happens, something in particular happens. Sure, I'll chase after my dreams right after I finish doing this degree in a subject that I don't care for. Sure, I'll follow my dreams right after I make enough money from this job I hate. Sure, I'll follow my dreams right after I'm married, because obviously marriage is the end goal here. I do not want to wait for the right time, because sometimes there is no right time. There is only now or never. Don't wait for miracles to happen. Be your own miracle. Create your own path. Create your own opportunities. मेरे पास जब भी कुछ नहीं होता था, मैंने decide किया कि I am going to make that happen for myself. I couldn't do comedy with most men, not because I don't like men, I do sometimes, but because it wasn't meant for me, right? And I thought, okay, what's the best way to go about it? I created my own freaking troupe, because that's what you do in life. Social media pe, I saw videos where, people like Zaid Ali, for example, they portrayed women in a certain light. औरतें bitching करती होंगी, औरतें just jealous होती हैं, सिर्फ gossip करती हैं. Because I don't think that's a true representation of women, and I thought maybe, there should be somebody else who does actually portray women in the right light. So, मेरे पास उस वक्त जब मैंने start किया था, I didn't have equipment. Well, I still don't have equipment. I'm pretty poor. I did not have a lot of expertise in filmmaking or anything else, but I got together with some of my friends, I got together with some of my family members, and I decided कि चलो, create your own miracle, create your own dreams, make your own dreams happen. Through my comedy, I've been able to highlight social issues like patriarchy, even body shaming, elitism, and I feel that comedy changes mindsets. However, comedy is only one way to go about bringing a revolution or bringing about a change. Revolution starts with personal initiative. It has to come from personal initiative. It starts with one person saying, I will not accept this, and really, really mean it. Thank you, everyone. Comedy set later.
Thank you, Faiza, for being funny and for being strong, for being a woman and being funny, and being strong and proving everyone who said otherwise wrong. As a reminder to all, we still have an amazing lineup of events. We have a panel discussion and dinner at the end. I know that's what everyone wanted to hear, but moving on. Super Savari Express. I just told you the name of his baby. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for entrepreneur Atif bin Arif.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters of the United Arab Emirates and Pakistan, Assalamu alaikum and good evening. Before introducing myself, I would like to congratulate the Pakistan Association Dubai and the Pakistan Youth Forum for firstly arranging such a fantastic event, for hosting all of us, for calling us in, and for actually thinking that we were credible enough to be here, and it's a great honor. So a round of applause for the association, for everyone here. It needs to be louder than that, because I could have probably clapped myself. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So who am I? The name is Atif bin Arif, and I am the managing director of Super Savari Express. What began not with a business plan, what began not with any idea, what began as just a fun thing to do, because I was born in Karachi, but I was raised in Toronto. Moved back 5 years ago to Karachi because my father fell ill. We're from the travel and hospitality industry. The family business was Gulliver's Travels. And what I sort of decided to do was, lived in Karachi for a mere bit, but never really knew the city, never really know anything about Pakistan. And that's the case with most Pakistanis. We bleed green and white, but we don't know what that actually means. जब जज्बा आता है तो पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद बोलने के लिए सब सामने खड़े होते हैं, लेकिन शहरों के बारे में, लोगों के बारे में और जगहों के बारे में कुछ नहीं जानते. So that was the concept behind Super Savari Express. The idea was that we're going to go roam around the streets of Karachi and see what the city really has to offer. We went around with a group of 6 friends. We took pictures, and with the love of Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook, we started getting a lot of likes. So people started questioning, people started asking me, "Ye kahan hai? Ye kidhar tha? Ye kidhar tha? What is this place? You know what, book me a seat for 4 people next weekend, book me a seat for 4 people next weekend, 3 people. I went straight onto Excel, I used my business and entrepreneurial skills, and I said name, number, email address, and number of seats. And that's how the journey of Super Savari Express began. So about 2 years ago, what started with 6 people, we have now served over 25,000 people across Pakistan. Thank you. We started with Karachi doing 1 tour a week, which was on Sundays, and we do about 9 to 11 tours a week now, almost 2 tours a day. We have been covered by BBC World, The Washington Post, The Guardian, Spiegel Online. We have been blogged in over 65 countries around the world, and that's just a testament of showing what a void we filled within Pakistan. So it was nothing that we did, but it was simply that the people of Pakistan were hungry for such a thing. Because the first thing you do when you travel abroad is that you go, you check into the hotel, and you take a city tour. The concept of city tours did not exist in our country. So it's not about, so I'm going to take this platform of Pakistan Youth Forum. What I'm going to use this platform is to actually let everyone know that opportunities exist, and opportunities will always knock on everyone's door. It's how you will capitalize on that opportunity. The youth is sitting out here. All of you are sitting out here. Like I said, with Super Savari Express, not only are we doing city tours in Karachi, Lahore, Islamabad, we do evening tours, we do night tours, we do food tours. Food tours are actually a lot of fun. It's for everyone. It's for friends to go out, it's for families to go out. And the idea is to try different culinary delicacies around town. And it's a hop-on, hop-off tour where it's actually just food tasting at the well-known restaurants of Pakistan. So if you're in Karachi and you want to take a food tour, so the food tour can start off in Punjab colony where you're having chaat, then you move on to Alamgir where you have the lache wale parathe, then you move on to Bans Road and you're having the fried kebab. Wo piche wale bichare bol rahe hain, dinner pehle serve karwa de. So, then you have the Wahir ke fry kebab, then you're having lassi shots in shot glasses, non-alcoholic of course. So the idea is to take ownership in any and everything that has to do with Pakistan. And that's how the concept evolved, and now we are working very closely with all the government bodies to develop infrastructure around tourism, because that's what our country lacks. Unfortunately, the vision is there, people have great ideas, and the people who have great ideas have no authority, and the ones who have authority have no ideas. So the idea is to bridge that gap in order to promote tourism, because tourism is an industry which is growing immensely within Pakistan. There is so much opportunity, there is so much to see, so much to do, and I think there is a lot of opportunity that can definitely be capitalized on. So what I'm going to do is just play a short little documentary, the first video, if we can have the first video come on. And this is actually, it's probably good because it's a colleague of Haya's who's done it, so there's got to be some sort of element of documentary excellence in there.
Karachi is a really big city. It's got 18.5 million people, one of the largest cities as far as population is concerned, fourth largest metropolitan area in the world.
Generally, people in Karachi don't know anything about the city, and they sort of say that they do, but they really don't.
When we talk about Karachi, it's beyond just what we see, beyond the restaurants, beyond the cinemas. Karachi's history is in the old parts of the city. It's in the people who inhabit these areas. We drive past them every day, but we don't know anything about them.
So what we wanted to do was we wanted to reclaim this city by actually getting out on the streets and taking ownership of the culture and heritage.
So our idea was to demonstrate and exhibit the architecture and the harmony of these religions and cultures which we don't know about, the information which we have forgotten in the last decade or two.
And that's what Super Safari Express is. The journey of Super Safari Express began from me and a friend of mine, Dr. Bilal, taking about 5 or 6 friends of ours to see the city. After we did that, they had posted their pictures on Instagram and Facebook and all the social media. We have basically started the city's first city tour. The idea behind Super Safari Express tours are to promote and show you the richness of diversity in culture, in religion, in architectural beauty, history.
We want to give them the experience of what the real city of Karachi is.
So my job today would be to change your view of your own city, and if I did that today and make you guys appreciate your own history and heritage and culture a little more, I've done my job.
We take them and we tell them around what the place is about, what the area is about, what the culture is over there, a little bit about maybe some history, a few dates here and there.
The experience is three-pronged. Basically, there's religious sites. So one of the sites that we do take our guests to is the New Mehman Mosque, which is located on Main Bandar Road. The mosque itself is pretty iconic for the city because one, it's located in a very central business district and its minarets are visible from all parts of the city. There's historical sites. Empress Market, being Karachi's largest market, has everything on offer. You get spices, you get animals. Many people may not know that executions happened at the site, which is currently the courtyard of the Empress Market. And there's culturally relevant and relevant to certain ethnic communities. We have sites of that nature also.
So one of the sites that we visit on the tour is the St. Patrick's Cathedral. That is a Catholic church located in the old downtown of Karachi. It plays for an amazing ground. It has a huge Lord King monument. So it's a very iconic site. Along with that, we also allow our guests to climb the rooftop of the bus, which gives you a nice panoramic view of the city. After that, there is a breakfast and a snack break. It's more traditional food, chai, paratha and anda.
Breakfast session is very, very nice because that's where they interact and talk to each other and find out about themselves.
And in the end of the tour, it's a more inculcating experience of both entertainment and education of the City of Lights.
And today, there was lots of things that I think I discovered about Karachi that I did not know, having been born here.
It seemed like a cool idea, like to have an old bus and like you're just going around and It's a fun thing to do.
What a beautiful way to spend a Sunday in Karachi.
So that's what we do essentially. Now, being here at the forum, I'm going to take the next 2-3 minutes to identify what you guys can do in order to, in order to sort of participate and take part in that positive Pakistan. I think the utmost important thing that our youth now has, which I think the last generation lacked, was the sense of ownership. They didn't have a sense of belonging and ownership. There was no breaking barriers of actually taking complete ownership of Pakistan. You guys are sitting in Dubai, you guys are sitting in UAE, where there is a mosaic of cultures, there is ethnicities from around the world which you are engaging with on a daily basis. Us sitting in Pakistan, we're across with maybe different sects of other Pakistanis, Sindhi, Balochi, Punjabi. But you guys are the real brand ambassadors sitting out here because we come from Pakistan to do meetings with our foreign suppliers over here. But unless and until you guys don't take initiatives in whatever capacity you possibly can in order to show that positive image of Pakistan, I don't think it's going to get that word across. So keep exhibitions, keep shows, do little outreach programs, whether it's at Box Park holding the Pakistani flag and conducting people together so that people understand that, we're really not terrorists. And there's a lot more to our nation than that. And I think we have representation from HBL over here. So guys, everybody get in touch with them because wo to yahi kehte hain, jahan khwaab, wahan HBL. So we're all dreamers and we all want a positive Pakistan. And I think it's important to have that branded product of positive Pakistan and go forward with it. And maybe one day we can be amazing Thailand or incredible India, and it's all about branding your country. That's all from me, guys. Enjoy yourself.
We'd love for y'all to sing along. ऐसी ज़मीं और आसमां इनके सिवा जाना कहाँ बढ़ती रहे ये रोशनी चलता रहे Pakistan, Jahan, Jahan, Pakistan, Dil, Dil, Pakistan, Jahan, Jahan, Pakistan, Dil, Dil, Pakistan, Jahan, Jahan, Pakistan, Dil, Dil, Pakistan, Jahan, Jahan, Pakistan. Se milte e to pyar ka chera banta hai, chera banta hai. Pulek ladi me peroe to pe sera banta hai, sera banta hai. Hey, dil, dil, Pakistan, Jahan, Jahan, Pakistan, dil, dil, Pakistan, Jahan, Jahan, Pakistan, Dil, Dil, Pakistan, Jahan, Jahan, Pakistan, Dil, Dil, Pakistan, Jahan, Jahan, Pakistan. Gar apna to sabko ji jaan se pyara lagta hai, pyara lagta hai. Humko bhi apne har armaan se pyara lagta hai, pyara lagta hai. Everybody, dil, dil, Pakistan, Jahan, Jahan, Pakistan, dil, dil, Pakistan, Jahan, Jahan, Pakistan, dil, dil, Pakistan, Jahan, Jahan, Pakistan, dil, dil, Pakistan, Jahan, Jahan, Pakistan. One more time. ऐसी ज़मीं और आसमां इनके सिवा जाना कहाँ बढ़ती रहे ये रोशनी चलता रहे ये कारवां दिल दिल पाकिस्तान जहां जहां पाकिस्तान दिल दिल Pakistan, Jahan, Jahan, Pakistan, dil, dil, 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 Pakistan Youth Forum. Jahan, Jahan, Pakistan, Pakistan, Zindabad! Bahut bahut shukriya.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in now welcoming founder and director of the Reading Room Project, social entrepreneur Ms. Mashal Chaudhry.
I'm Mashal Chaudhry. I'm founder and director of Reading. The first thing I want to say is I'm extremely honored to be here. It's I can't believe I get to share the stage with people doing things like this. And to follow after Todd is especially worrying for me because that was amazing. So I run Reading Room Project, and we're quite a small outfit. We're a small non-profit based in Karachi, Pakistan. Not many people know about us. I've been running it since 2013, and what we do is we partner with affordable schools in Pakistan. Does anyone feel like they know anything about education in Pakistan? Ki kya scene hai udhar? So for example, half of our 5th graders don't know how to read. The quality of schooling isn't everything it could be. But I'm not here to talk about the negative stuff. For me, I want to throw that out there. I want to say it's a reality. And just to put our work into context. So we partner with these affordable schools. Affordable schools means NGOs, government schools, low-cost private schools, schools that serve the majority of the country's population. We provide specialized curriculum and teacher training. It's pretty simple. And we really try to redefine the role of the teacher. Currently, as we stand today, our curriculum is in 838 schools in the hands of 21,000 students. And you know, when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about today, it was really hard because this is a lot of pressure, you know? It's the youth convention. So I felt like I needed to give some good advice. But I thought it would be better to tell you a little story about how we got to where we are today, and then you can take away from that whatever you think. So through training, we build the capacity of these schools to deliver the best quality education that they possibly can. We work together with them. And we do this because we think that learning for all students should be joyous and it should be independent. And you should have a great time at school. That's our core belief. And this is our very small team. When I was coming here, they all laughed at me because they know I love to give people advice. I'm always telling them, I'm the buddhi in the middle, and I'm always telling them what to do. But I had to remind myself that what I really want to convey here is a little bit about what we do, and then I'd like to open up the floor after I leave the stage to please approach me, talk to me about our work, ask me questions, disagree with me. I want to talk. That's why I'm here. I'm going to start in 2006 when I graduated from Georgetown University. It's in Washington, D.C. It's a great school. I left there in 2006, and I moved to Vietnam for a year to work in international development. I had always wanted to do social work. I felt I had grown up in Pakistan my whole life. I felt this was the way forward. Everything I saw around me could be explained or could be solved through a development construct. That's what I thought. So I moved to Vietnam to do that. The reason I put up this picture is that in 2007, when I was 21 years old, I took a motorcycle trip that lasted about 941 kilometers across the country of Vietnam. And I've put up this picture here because at this stage of my life, I had no idea that I was about to move back to Pakistan and not leave after that. I thought I was going to keep traveling the world. I thought I was some intrepid kind of adventurer, explorer. There's a lot to see. I'm going to be out there. But I moved back to Pakistan. And actually what ended up happening is I moved to Karachi, the city where I grew up, and I rediscovered it entirely. Over the next 7-8 years, I worked in development, and I became very disillusioned. I became very unhappy. I had a fantastic white-collar job. I had a brand name education. But I felt like I was a paper pusher. Has anybody ever worked in an organization where you feel like if you leave, it's not really going to matter? But it looks good on your resume? So that's how I felt, and I got very depressed. Does anybody know who this woman is? So this is APA, Anita Ghulam Ali. She was director of Sindh Education Foundation in 2012. She used to be Minister of Education, and a lot more. She was a confrontational woman, okay? When I met her in 2012, I had an idea. I thought I could solve Pakistan's education crisis by giving students access to the internet and online learning resources. So I went to her, I set up an appointment, I walked through her door, and through many, many, many meetings, she actually listened to me. She listened to me, she didn't laugh, she opened doors. She introduced us to government schools, and that's how we started our first pilot. The reason I put her up here is that she marks an incredible moment in my life, and I wanted to share it with you because you're youth. She was a person with integrity. It's not always easy or accessible to meet someone with integrity who's worked in education or in government in Pakistan, and she inspired me. So that's how we started. It's very glamorous. We found a government school, we found 30 kids, and we said we're going to do an experiment. Here's what the experiment was all about. I had been researching education since 2012. And what I'd read was that half the kids in class 5 cannot read a single word. They can't do a sum. And when I started observing and when I started researching, it became really easy to see whose fault this was. And so for us, the theme of the pilot was, this person is the villain, so let's get rid of this person. Let's set it up so that kids don't have to deal with this person not showing up 18% of the time. So that this person doesn't get a chance to punish the kids physically. So that this person doesn't talk on the mobile phone while another kid teaches the class. All things we saw, all things we've read about, all things we have firsthand experienced. So the way we set up the pilot was, we said what we'll do is, we'll take kids and we will introduce them to learning resources. We will teach them English, digital literacy, mathematics. We'll make them self-sufficient. They can learn anything they want after that. We wanted to negate the role of the teacher, completely get rid of her. And it started to go really well. I mean, these kids were programming within a year. We decided what we'll do is, we'll replace the teacher, we'll just get rid of her, we'll hire our own teachers. We won't call them teachers, we'll call them facilitators. Facilitators are very special people. We'll give them scripts, we'll leave nothing up to chance. Facilitator को एक script मिलेगी, उसको पता होगा मैंने अब सवाल पूछना है. बच्चे ये कर रहे हैं तो मैं ये करूँगा. When kids come in, I have to look up and I have to greet them. We scripted everything. We made everything a standard operating procedure. Facilitators were not there to teach. They were there to encourage, troubleshoot, just be there. And it was quite amazing. The kids started to become self-sufficient. They were blogging, programming, doing sums, speaking better English. It was electric. And we started to get very excited because we thought, हमने तो कर लिया है. 30 बच्चों के साथ हमने अब कर लिया है. And over the next 3 years, we took the successes from that 1-year pilot and we built on them. We kept building out the profile of this facilitator. We kept investigating, what is this person like? What do they do in the classroom? How do they make this class come alive? How do they make kids feel this way? Over the next 3 years, we worked with over 300 students directly, meaning we opened up our own lab and we took in students. We taught them intensive English literacy and English as a second language because we felt if you know English, you can learn anything else you want from the internet. Our kids started to experience one grade level jump every 3 months on average. So every 3 months, they were increasing by 1 year. This was very exciting for us. And when I say kids, our kids were in age range 4 to 57 because we learned something else about Pakistan, is that a lot of people over the age of 18 still feel like they want an education. Is it true? But the model started to evolve. The facilitator, who we were so focused on, we were obsessed with this person. We were like, क्या करता है, क्या सोचता है, क्या करती है, कहाँ से आती है, and how can we make it so that she doesn't have to think, so we just tell her what to do and she does it and the magic happens. Literally, guys, these are the kinds of conversations we would have with each other. कि ये script कैसी होनी चाहिए? But it started to evolve because we had students of all ages with all kinds of stories. Mohabbat Khan, who learned English because he wanted to move to Dubai, and he did. He's a driver. And because we were teaching English, because we were teaching literacy, a lot of teaching became very important. So the facilitator couldn't just facilitate. Facilitating का मतलब है कि मैं एक चीज़ हो रही है और मैं उसको होने दूँ और मैं थोड़ा सा poke और prod करूँ. But teaching is imparting knowledge, कुछ देना, कुछ बताना, समझाना. And when you're teaching English literacy to people like Mohabbat, you're explaining, you're conversing, you're engaging, you are in it. And so our model started to evolve. This idea of this facilitator started to change. And when we decided in 2016 that we wanted to scale from 300 students to 20,000 students, we really needed to get very serious. Okay, what made our success even happen? What made it work? What, in the end, is this facilitator? And to be honest with you, I really think it has to do with the quality of the relationships that these facilitators had with these students. I really think it lies in that. I don't think it's in the beauty of our activities. I don't think it's in the elegance of our instructions. I think it's the human connection that made it happen, that made them keep coming back. And we realized that over the last 4 years, in trying to eliminate the teacher and trying to create this mythical facilitator, we had actually provided a lot of training. We provided a lot of training. And what we'd done was, over 3 years with our 25, 30 facilitators, is we'd given them the tools and a safe space. And by tools, I mean the tools for introspection. Who am I? What do I want? What am I really like? Because when a teacher or a facilitator can be like that with themselves, they can be like that with somebody else. As a parent, if you can be like that with yourself, you can be like that with your kids. And the safe space. If I mess up in the classroom tomorrow, my team won't fire me, they won't judge me, they'll be with me to make it better the next day. We're here for each other. Basically, we started treating each other like human beings, with kindness. And I think I would go a step further and I would talk about what Faiza and Haya mentioned, which is a mindset of empathy. See, it's really easy to judge this government school teacher before you meet her. It's really easy to judge this person because they don't show up. You're good for nothing. Why can't you just do your job? Why can't you just do it right? But it's entirely different when you start to get to know her, when you struggle to get to know her, when you get behind her eyes in a sense and you see what she sees. When you walk in her shoes, when you try to understand what has it been like being Nasreen for 30 years? Why is she this way? And in the training process, not only do you do that with her, she does that with you. So, we started to question everything. We got very confused. And we realized that these facilitators we were making, they were teachers. If we could treat our facilitators with so much humanity, with so much empathy, why can't we do that for the 6 lakh teachers that are in Pakistan in classrooms right now? Why can't we do that? It starts, we believe, by treating them as equals, by removing the other, by acknowledging that in your position, maybe I would not do better. If I were you, maybe I would do the same thing or worse. So for us now, we regard the teacher as a collaborator, an equal, a human being. And all our work is centered around trying to understand him or her and his or her needs. When you do that, when you treat people like human beings, and you don't judge them, and we've seen this firsthand, these spectacular things happen. People start to change. So these are some of the things we work on in our trainings. I'm not going to lie, our trainings are really weird. They're actually more like very uncomfortable life experiences that we all go through together. It's not straightforward. We still do this stuff, but what we really focus on is the stuff that is difficult to describe. And I'll end. Organizers, I'm ending. The reason I shared this story with you is that, you're going to meet so many organizations that are in various parts of their life cycle. Some of them will be extremely successful. It gives me great pride to say that we have impacted 21,000 students. It gives me great pride. We're a 6-person team. So it's exciting, but I have to tell you something. What we do today is 180 degrees removed from what we started out doing. What we believe today is completely the opposite of what we started out believing. And I honestly believe that the reason we were able to make that change, the reason we were able to pivot and still last, still survive, was that it's not the what of what we're doing, it's the why. It's why we're doing it. We believe in every person's right to a quality education. We think that education gives you the ability to be anyone you want to be, not just who your father was or who your mother was. Anyone you want to be. True education does that. And so that's really what I want to leave you here with today. You know, find your purpose. It doesn't matter if it's stocks or cooking. Find what you love to do, like love and want to contribute to. The what might change along the way. It has to sometimes. But the why of what you're doing, why do I love stocks so much? Why do I want to make this amazing food? Why do I want to change the way teachers interact with students in Pakistan? Why do I want to change the way we talk to each other in Pakistan? Why? That's what's important. The what is incidental. You'll change that 1,000,000 times. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mashal, for aiding in giving the future of Pakistan a future. A pen is mightier than a sword. With that quote, let us now welcome to the stage a storyteller, co-founder of Humans of Pakistan, Mr. Ali Haider.
Assuming that most of you know about Humans of Pakistan already, what it does and how it does, I'm just going to talk about why Humans of Pakistan is doing what it's doing. Till this date, I have narrated over 4,000 stories all across Pakistan, but this one story is the most important to me, and I'm going to narrate it in the shortest possible way. I was born in a family where I was the only child only boy for many years. So in a patriarchal society of ours, the boy privileges that we have, I had all those privileges. I was loved by my uncles, Puppa, Chachu, Mamu, Taya, Khala, everyone. They adored me because I was the only boy. So I used the boy factor as much as I could. And being a photojournalist, they have taken so many pictures of mine while I was growing up that I even haven't taken in last few years. Imagine they even have pictures of my khatnon ki ceremony. So I was 7 years old when my father decided कि मैं अपने वालिदैन के पास शिफ्ट होना चाहता हूँ और लाहौर से हम लोग शिफ्ट होकर साउदर्न पंजाब के एक छोटे से शहर हारूनाबाद में चले गए. मेरे वालिद ने वहाँ पे आड़त का काम शुरू किया. आड़त is, in other words, if I translate in English, it's crops trading. It was going very well until a flood came in that area and my father went broke. So in the midlife crisis, we went from that small city to a village where my grandparents were living. In that particular village, my father did not even have money to pay for my school fee. That was 600 rupees only. I had 3 sisters. All of them, including myself, were dropped out of school. We were at home not studying. And for 6 months, we did not go to school. We did not had any education. And at that time, there was this one madrasa in our village where I was enrolled. Little did my father know that वो मदरसा जो था वो एक extremist or radical group जो था वो run कर रहा था. I do not want to go into the details, but I just to give you an idea about it, that when I enrolled into that madrasa, I burnt away all my jeans. Not that there is anything wrong with wearing shalwar kameez, but I was being constructed to hate everyone who was wearing jeans or Western clothing. My father burnt all the pictures, most of the pictures actually. One of the pictures you have seen here was damaged. He burnt his own wedding video. My sisters weren't allowed to go outside home. And lastly, if I was still in madrasa in 2015, I would have justified the APS attacks. I would have supported the extremist groups, the killers of those innocent children. That was the intensity of radicalism in that madrasa. Fortunately, because of some reasons, the villagers had dispute with my Qari Sahab and the Qari Sahab had to leave. the village, and madrasa was once again abandoned. After a year studying there, I was learning Quran by heart, but जब कारी साहब वहाँ से चले गए, मदरसा एक बार फिर से बंद हो गया, and once again I was bound at home doing nothing. At that time, an angel came to my life. It was my mother who talked to my uncle in Lahore, and once again the privilege I had is that घर का बेटा है, बड़ा बेटा है. It's अच्छी बात नहीं है कि ये uneducated रहे या गांव में रहे या गवार हो, that kind of things. तो मेरे parents ने और मेरे मामू ने उन्होंने मिलके मुझे लाहौर बुला लिया, and I was once again enrolled in school. I resumed my education from 9th class, but then again वो जो extremist element था, the radical mindset that I had inside my head, that was being inoculated inside my head for over a year, वो नहीं गया था. मुझे अपनी cousins नहीं अच्छी लगती थी just because they weren't doing पर्दा. मैं movies और गाने वगैरह जब वो देखती थी मुझे वो नहीं पसंद था. But I was still a teenager, so I cope up with that. I gradually, after a few years, I came to a normal state that I call a normal state. After completing my matriculation, I asked my same uncle that I want to go into a good college. So good college means good money. He had to support his own family. He had to support my family because my father did not have anything to do till yet. He had to support his own parents. But upon my insist, he enrolled me in a good college in Lahore. He paid the पहले महीने की फीस पे कर दी, दूसरे की कर दी, तीसरे की कर दी. But then again, he could not pay the fee for fourth semester, fourth month, not 5th month, not 6th month. I remember that I was always very good in reading. So मैं क्लास की पहली रो में बैठा हुआ था, खड़ा हुआ था और उर्दू की बुक से रीड कर रहा था when a guy from administration came along with a security guard and they asked me to come outside the classroom. I was hesitant, I was embarrassed ke what are my class fellows going to think, because I knew why they are there. I was requesting them to let me stay in the class and I'll come to their office after the class. Even my class teacher said that, but they did not listen, and the admin guy, he picked up my bag and walked outside the classroom. I walked beside him, and right outside the classroom, I was begging him, I was imploring him to let me stay for one more day and I'll bring the money tomorrow. But he did not listen. And at that time, the security guard pulled me from my collar and dragged me outside of college premises. And that guy said to my face, "Jab paise honge tab वापस आना." I only had 16 rupees in my pocket, जो कि मैंने बस का किराया दिया, मैं घर पहुंचा, and I broke into tears that every time this has happened to me. मैं स्कूल में था, मदरसे में था, कॉलेज में. My parents, my family could not even educate me. I was depressed, I was angry on everyone, and it was the time my family, my grandparents, my uncle, my father, they tried to gather some money to pay the college fees, but they could not do it in time, and I was officially struck off from the college. In anger, I took a decision that I took the first step that why do I have to rely on them? Why can't I just work? I was still a teenager, by the way, that why can't I just work and earn the money and pay for my college fee myself? That was the time when I started looking for a job. I found a job at a local bakery in Lahore at Walton Road, where my job was to mop the floors, clean the display panels, or pack the small Nimco packets. My monthly pay was 300 rupees. Even that time when my cousins used to come to that bakery, they would ridicule me, they would make fun of me just because I was doing those odd things, and being the eldest of the family, other cousins were looking up to me. So what kind of an example I was setting for them? But luckily, I thought that after working for 3-4 months, I would generate 1,250 rupees, and I would pay for Lahore board's fees for intermediate, and I would complete my education. But meanwhile, I found another job. It was 1,300 rupees a month. एक गोदाम में जहाँ पे सुबह के टाइम पे मुझे कार्टन्स उठा के पिकअप में डालने होते थे और शाम को खाली जो पिकअप आती है कार्टन्स उठा के वापस गोदाम में रखनी थी और गोदाम की सेटिंग करनी होती थी. 1300 रुपये मुझे वहाँ पे मिल रहे थे. मैं बहुत खुश था कि जहाँ मुझे 4 महीने जॉब करनी पड़ी थी, अब मैं 1 महीना करूँगा, इतने पैसे आ जाएंगे, मैं फर्स्ट और सेकंड ईयर की फीस पे कर दूँगा और आई कंप्लीट माई एजुकेशन. एंड आफ्टर दैट आई विल गो फॉर आर्मी और समथिंग लाइक दैट. After working for a very few weeks, it was probably the 3rd week when the evil intentions of the owner disclosed to me. He invited me for sodomy. He was harassing me and he tried to molest me. I do not want to go into the detail. I just would want to stick to the topic. Anyhow, I escaped from there. I reached home. And for days I was just bedridden. I was sick, I could not talk to anyone, I could not eat because I had literally lost my senses. My parents, because they were in the village, they did not know that I've been doing odd jobs, and my grandparents did not tell them that family पे बात आएगी कि जी बच्चे को बुलाया यहाँ पे पढ़ा नहीं सके, वो इस तरह के काम कर रहे हैं. So they did not tell them, my father did not know. While I was sick, I spoke to my father on the phone, and we both cried. He cried over his helplessness that his beloved son has to do all these odd jobs and have to go through all this, and I was crying that I cannot even tell anyone what has happened to me, what is happening to me. I think that particular talk gave him the inspiration. He came to Lahore, started working at a workshop as a generator mechanic. He learned quickly, and the company moved him to Islamabad, and after moving to Islamabad, he called me to Islamabad and got me enrolled in a government college where I resumed my education. I completed my intermediate in a way that I was दोपहर 2 से लेकर शाम 6 बजे तक मेरी क्लासेस होती थी और रात को 9 बजे से लेकर सुबह 7 बजे तक मैं कॉल सेंटर पर जॉब करता था. So उस जॉब से जो पैसे आते थे, घर भी चल रहा था, मेरी फीस भी चल रही थी, मेरा अपना खर्चा भी चल रहा था. And after that, similarly, the same uncle and my father, they gathered the money to pay my first semester's fee at a very prestigious university of Islamabad, and after that I continued my studies that way. I was working in the night, I was studying in the morning, and that is how I completed my graduation from Islamabad. Meanwhile, while I was still in the university, it was that time when I came across Humans of New York's Facebook page. I was just going through my news feed, and after doing a research for 2 or 3 days, I started talking to my best friends, and we started this journey that we started Humans of Pakistan. That is how Humans of Pakistan actually started, through a Facebook chat. While we were going in the streets, I remember that in one of our first photo walk that was in Rawalpindi, Raja Bazaar, probably some of you know about it. Raja Bazaar is a very traditional market of Rawalpindi. We went there to do a photo walk, and it was the time when I used to do communication. My friend used to do deal with the camera, and we approached an auntie, and I told her that मैं पाकिस्तान के लिए कर रहा हूँ, मैं पाकिस्तान के कक्षा में प्रमोट करना चाहता हूँ, आपसे कुछ सवाल करूँ, आपके जवाब लेंगे हम. Auntie, while I was taking out my notepad, मेरा दोस्त था वो अपना कैमरा ठीक कर रहा था, तो उसने अपने कैमरा में देखा that auntie is slowly slipping out of the sandal, इस तरह से करते. जब वो हमने देखा, we started walking away slowly कि बस मामला खराब हो गया, let's walk away. While we were walking away, she was right behind us. We turned around, and the sandal from the feet was in her hand and was swinging. She was literally running after us in Raja Bazaar, and she was saying, इनको तो आ रही, तुम एक ही तो सुझा किन से, तुम एक ही काला कर से. So another event that happened in Lahore when I approached a group of boys from behind and asked them, भाई मैं आपकी तस्वीर ले लूँ. Even before I could complete, he turned around and said, क्यों रिश्ता देना. So that sort of event happened. But meanwhile, I also came across some of the individuals who were in dire need of help. One such story is of Bilal, who was a 12 years old boy, lost his father. When I approached him, I asked him, why aren't you in school, why are you working at a workshop? His answer is still echoing in my head. I could still remember what he was saying. उसने कहा कि अगर मैं स्कूल जाऊंगा तो मेरी माँ की दवाई कौन करेगा. So I saw myself in him. After going back home, I posted his story on Facebook page, and I got an overwhelming response from my audience, and we raised 74,000 rupees for him in less than 1 day. We did not only provide his mother's medicine or enrolled him in the school, we also paid 1 year's advance rent of his house. We paid his mother the ration for a couple of months, and then we enrolled all his siblings. He had 5 siblings, all his siblings in the school. That is how the journey took a different path. After Bilal, we did a lot of projects. We did for IDPs, for flood victims, for famine, factories of Sarparka. We did all that is history now. Till this date, my team and I have enrolled over 100 children in schools all over Pakistan. We have built 2 schools, we have health center in Sarparkar, and we are sponsoring 19 families completely. purpose of narrating my own story is that everything that I have been through, everything that I have seen, I still do not have a single regret in my life. I believe everything that was done was experience and made me what I am today. If I hadn't been doing those odd jobs to pay for my college fee, I wouldn't have realized the importance of education at that time. If I wasn't being harassed at workplace, I wouldn't be fighting for or raising voice for against violence and harassment against all the genders at workplaces. So everything that I did is my experience. I still do not have any regrets. So one thing that still exists and one thing that I believe in, कि किसी ने सही कहा था कि लाखों मील का सफर पहले कदम से शुरू होता है. हमें भी उस पहले कदम की तलाश है. अगर हम इस इंतजार में बैठे रहेंगे कि कोई लीडर आएगा, हमें आके हक की बात बताएगा, हम उसके पीछे चल पड़ेंगे, सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा, तो इस इंतजार में हम तो क्या, हमारे आने वाली नस्लों की भी उम्रें गुजर जाए. हमें पहला कदम खुद लेना है, हमें अपने दिया खुद जलाना है. I would just conclude my talk here by one thing that Idi Saab told me last year, few months before his death. He was on his deathbed, he could not remember anything. Literally, after every 15 minutes, he would ask my name because he would forget my name after every 15 minutes. So the only thing that he remembered and only message that he gave me is the message that I'm going to give it to you. He said that it is very easy to live life for yourself. अपने लिए, अपने घर वालों के लिए ज़िंदगी जीना बहुत आसान है, कोई भी कर सकता है, सब करते हैं. ज़िंदगी वो है जो आप किसी और के लिए जीते हैं. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ali, for sharing your stories with us and for sharing your stories of Pakistan with the world. Now, the much-awaited panel discussion is now at hand. So please join me in welcoming to the stage a renowned journalist and familiar face, Mr. Wasim Badani.
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम, अस्सलाम वालेकुम. अब मैं बड़ा परेशान था जब ये सारी स्पीचेस हो रही थी कि ये अंग्रेज़ी ज़रा ज़्यादा हो गई है, तो मैं इसको कैसे करूँ. तो मुश्किल मेरी बड़ी आसान करनी है. उन्होंने कह कि देखिए वो इंग्लिश बहुत ज़्यादा हो गई, तो आपने उर्दू करके ना इसको बैलेंस कर देना. मैं कहा जी सर ऐड हो रहा है. चूँकि इन्होंने मुझसे कहा इसलिए मैं उर्दू में ज़्यादा बात कर रहा हूँ, वरना कोई ऐसा इशू नहीं है. सो बट सीरियसली मैंने पर्सनली बहुत इन्जॉय किया, बहुत एजुकेट किया अपने आप को. और एक बहस जो हमारी सोसाइटी में अक्सर होती है, जिस हवाले से कभी कभी मीडिया को भी तनकीद का निशाना बनाया जाता है, एंड आई एग्री कि हम अक्सर शायद क्रिटिसिज्म के चक्कर में, जो कि ज़रूरी है, बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है बेहतरी के लिए, लेकिन हम शायद जो पॉजिटिव चीज़ें हैं उनको इग्नोर कर देते हैं. इसलिए मुझे लगता है इस तरह के प्रोग्राम्स कम होते हैं, ज़्यादा होने चाहिए. और जितने भी स्पीकर्स आए, जिस ज़बरदस्त तरीके से उन्होंने बात की है, इतनी आसान अंदाज में, बेहतरीन अंदाज में, मेरा ख्याल है एक दफ़ा तमाम स्पीकर्स के लिए हम बड़ी ज़बरदस्त. और चूँकि आप लोग बहुत देर से यहाँ पर बैठे हैं, तो हम कोई रिवायती सा कोई पैनल डिस्कशन वगैरह करने का इरादा नहीं है. मैं सिंपली तमाम जो भी स्पीकर्स थे, आई कॉल देम ऑन स्टेज, और बस फिर आप लोगों की तरफ होगा माइक, और जिससे आप लोग जो सवाल करना चाहें, हम एक अच्छा सा क्रिस्प सा इंटरेक्टिव सा सेशन ये रखेंगे. मुझे 2 मिनट बात करने का कहा गया था, तो मैं बात नहीं करता. इतना ज़बरदस्त तरीके से उन्होंने गुनगुनाया दिल दिल पाकिस्तान कि उसके बाद कोई गुंजाइश रहती नहीं है. बट पाकिस्तान की आज बात हुई है. वैसे भी पाकिस्तान से बाहर अगर कहीं पाकिस्तान जिंदाबाद का नारा सुना तो और मज़ा आ जाता है. फिर दिल दिल पाकिस्तान सुन के उन्होंने जुनैद भाई की भी याद दिला दी और सारा कुछ. तो मैं अपने आप को रोक नहीं सकता कि मैं भी ज़रा एक उतना अच्छा तो नहीं जितना इन्होंने गुनगुनाया, लेकिन पाकिस्तान की बात हो रही है तो मैं भी एक दो शेर गुनगुना देता हूँ और तमाम स्पीकर्स को बुलाता हूँ. और ये गुनगुनाना क्यों ज़रूरी है, पाकिस्तान की बात करना क्यों ज़रूरी है, इसलिए कि इसकी बुनियादों में है तेरा लहू मेरा लहू, इससे मेरी आबरू, इससे है तेरी आबरू, इससे मेरा नाम है, इससे तेरी पहचान है, इससे मेरा नाम है, इससे तेरी पहचान है. इस पे दिल कुर्बान, इस पे जान भी कुर्बान, ओ इस पे दिल कुर्बान, इस पे जान भी कुर्बान है। अब अगर एक दफा आप लोग सब मिलके गा देंगे तो मजा ही आ जाएगा। तेरा पाकिस्तान है ये, जबरदस्तान है, तेरा पाकिस्तान है ये, इस पे दिल कुर्बान, इस पे जान भी कुर्बान है। थैंक यू वेरी मच, बहुत शुक्रिया। कोई मजीद वक्त ज़ाया किए बगैर वो तमाम तो स्पीकर जिनको आपने अभी सुना, मैं एक एक करके उनको ज़हमत दूंगा। ज़बरदस्त काम हर किसी ने अपनी अपनी जगह पर किया है, बहुत बेहतरीन अंदाज से। यहाँ पर सेशन का आगाज़ किया था ऑस्कर विनिंग डायरेक्टर ने, जिन्होंने हमें बताया उन्होंने किस तरीके से ट्रैवल किया है फ्रॉम वन कॉर्नर ऑफ द कंट्री टू अनदर, और अपने एक्सपीरियंसेस क्या ज़बरदस्त तरीके से उन्होंने यहाँ पर हाईलाइट किए। आई वुड लाइक टू इनवाइट हया फातिमा साहिबा, प्लीज़। थैंक यू वेरी मच, प्लीज़ जनाब। और पाकिस्तान की बात जब हम सुनते हैं किसी ऐसे शख्स से जो कि पाकिस्तान में पहले नहीं था, फिर आया, then he moved to Pakistan, he lived among Pakistanis, he shared his lovely experience about Pakistan, about Pakistanis, and obviously we all were so happy when he was talking about our beloved country, when he was talking about his beloved country. So may I please invite Todd Shea, if I pronounced his correctly, please give him a big hand. And then आतिफ, अच्छा मुझे नज़र नहीं आ रहा है। फिर यहाँ पर इस तकारीर के दौरान, स्पीचेस के दौरान एक बहुत अच्छा चेंज अपने मखसूस अंदाज में और थोड़े से बोल्ड अंदाज में, ज़बरदस्त अंदाज में यहाँ पर अपनी बातें भी बताई और एंटरटेन भी किया। फायजा सलीम अगर प्लीज आपसे। और फाउंडर एंड डायरेक्टर ऑफ रीडिंग रूम प्रोजेक्ट, एंड अगेन उन्होंने भी, उनकी बात सुन के मैं ये सोच रहा था कि जब हम अक्सर ये सोचते हैं कि यार देयर आर लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स टू डू, इतने सारे गैप्स हैं, इतने सारे मसाइल हैं, तो हम कहाँ से आगाज़ करें, कैसे इनिशिएटिव लें, कैसे होगा, क्या होगा। तो इस तरह की मिसालें जब हमारे सामने आती हैं तो दे रियली एक्ट एज अ मोरल बूस्टर। मे आई प्लीज इनवाइट मिशेल चौधरी साहब ऑन स्टेज। थैंक यू वेरी मच, प्लीज। सर आपका इंतजार था। एमडी सवारी एक्सप्रेस, ग्रेट आइडिया, ब्रिलियंट आइडिया, यूनिक आइडिया, आखिर में आ गए, प्लीज। ओके, एंड लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, स्टोरी नरेट करना और इस तरीके से क्राउड के सामने खड़े रह के बिल्कुल उस माहौल में डूब कर उस स्टोरी को प्रेजेंट करना, ये कोई आसान काम नहीं है। ज़बरदस्त अंदाज में स्टोरीज नरेट कर रहे थे, अपने बारे में बता रहे थे। अली हैदर प्लीज़ अगर आप स्टेज पर आ सकते। सो मैं बगैर कोई भी वक्त ज़ाया किए, अगर हम माइक ऑडियंस में है हमारे पास, अगर मैं चाहता हूँ कि सवाल जवाब में समय से शुरू करें। आपने जिससे भी जो सवाल पूछना है, जिस भी ज़बान में पूछना है वो सवाल पूछें, और आप लोगों ने जिस ज़बान में जवाब देना है वो जवाब दें। सो आई थिंक यू कैन रेज योर हैंड्स जिसने भी सवाल पूछना है, और उसके बाद हम सेशन को आगे बढ़ा सकते हैं। अगर अभी कोई सवाल नहीं है तो आई कैन स्टार्ट, अदरवाइज अगर कोई सवाल है तो यू कैन जस्ट रेज योर हैंड्स एंड आस्क द क्वेश्चन। इतनी देर में मैं ये काम करूँ तो ये है कोई सवाल या मैं यहाँ से शुरू कर सकता हूँ? अच्छा है, प्लीज़ अगर आप सर अगर माइक कौन सा केंद्र है प्लीज।
मिशेल आपसे सवाल है, how can I know some more about the curriculum you have been working on?
Is this on? Yeah. Sir, thank you for your question. So the easiest way is to ask me. We can talk today. Further to that, if you want, we can. I imagine you're based in Dubai. We can set up a call with my team. We're based in Karachi, but we're happy to walk you through, in any detail you require. But the shortest way is we can have a conversation about it today, and I would really enjoy that. Can I ask you, what would you like to know?
Sorry?
What would you like to know?
The curriculum you have been working on.
Right.
Is that made by you or is in a typical curriculum?
Is it, sorry?
Is in a typical curriculum, or this is made by you, your team?
So we borrow from a lot of disciplines. For example, we have content from, is this me, the feedback? We borrow from a lot of disciplines, so we adapt existing activities in curriculum as well as make our own from scratch.
Okay, we can discuss later. Let the other ask the question.
जी क्वेश्चन अगर मैं भी क्विकली बीच में जब मौका मिलता जाएगा अब वेरी क्विक जो मुझसे लोग बहुत ज़्यादा पूछ रहे होते मैं आप लोगों से पूछना चाहता हूँ फील्ड में जाकर काम कर रहे हैं ये किस तरफ जा रहा है जी मुल्क आपके ख्याल में वी आर हेडिंग टुवर्ड्स अ पॉजिटिव डायरेक्शन या ज़रा मायूसी की वजह से सवाल मुझे पता है बड़ा तफसीली है बट शॉर्ट प्रिसाइज जवाब दे सकें प्लीज़
Overall, if you ask me, the country is headed towards the right direction. Now, I don't know if it's a successful direction or not, but you have to see the couple of components. 70% of our population is the youth.
Correct. Yeah.
CPEC and other sort of international foreign interests are now coming in. The Russians, the Turkish, the Chinese are investing heavily into Pakistan. Education, which was at an all-time low, is now growing. Tourism as an industry is also growing. You now see a lot more foreigners than you used to much before.
That's right.
Moreover, the middle class in your country is on the rise. That is the most important factor of a growing economy. So, when your middle class is on the rise, you already know that now people will have purchasing power to purchase goods and employment will also rise. Overall, I think it's all positive and that's why we're also back there to be a part of it.
Inshallah. Yes, please.
How do you manage when there is a curfew या कोई इशू हो रहा है सिटी में? How do you manage it?
कर्फ्यू हड़ताल गाँव में क्या करते हैं भाई ये होता है हड़ताल वाला दौर कराची से चला गया शुक्र है जी अब तो मिस करते हैं हम कराची वाला
Our tours carry on even on Eid. Our tours carry on any public holiday. हड़ताल हो स्ट्राइक हो या कुछ भी हो हमारे tours चलते हैं. सबसे पहले लोग बोलते थे कराची में तो इतनी गर्मी होगी कौन टूर करेगा? So then at that point in time we said Rome is as hot. Bangkok has more traffic than Karachi can ever imagine. So it's a mindset change that we sort of plan on. Whether it strikes or not, we have special rotations at all the sites and we don't go to the virtual landmarks. The idea हमारे tours का होता है कि जो local उस शहर में रह रहा है और 40-50 साल रहा है या बच्चे बड़े हुए हैं लेकिन वो अपने शहर को नहीं जानते वो टोक्यो, न्यूयॉर्क, लंदन और दुबई के कोने-कोने की दुकानों से, चर्च से, मंदिर से और कमर्शियल लैंडमार्क से वाकिफ हैं उनको वो जगहें दिखाई दें.
Right.
So it doesn't stop us whether it's a strike, whether होने बस रहे हैं everyone going to please motivate.
सियासी गुफ्तगू से परहेज करें इसके बारे में लगा अच्छा बट आई रियली वांटेड टू आस्क दिस क्वेश्चन एज वेल कि सिक्योरिटी कंसर्न्स नहीं कि जनाब आप कभी फॉरेनर्स को लेके भी जा रहे हैं कभी बच्चे हैं फैमिलीज हैं चल गुड अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह
Security, I think, is a psychological barrier which we have placed on ourselves, and we really need to get out of it. It's beyond that time. New York, there's probably a higher crime rate that's reported than Karachi and I think Mr. Todd over here is a good bit.
Oh, yeah, I know all about it. When I come over here, the crime rate is definitely gone down. I do that.
How do you manage the the line कि आपने क्या शेयर करना है क्या नहीं शेयर करना अपने पेज पे and how do you बैठ के इसको कैसे मैनेज करते हैं कि भाई मैं ये चीज़ मुझे लगता है इम्पोर्टेंट है पाकिस्तान की ये चीज़ें नहीं इम्पोर्टेंट है
थैंक यू फॉर आस्किंग द क्वेश्चन जैसे मैंने अपनी टॉक के बिल्कुल शुरू में बताया कि आई हैव रिलेटेड ओवर 4000 स्टोरीज उन 4000 स्टोरीज में से मोस्ट ऑफ देम मोर देन हाफ ऑफ देम हैव ऑलरेडी बीन पोस्टेड सो इनिशियली आई वाज फॉलोइंग द फुटस्टेप्स ऑफ ब्रैंडन जो कि न्यूयॉर्क का फाउंडर है उसने अपने फेसबुक पेज पे ही रोड द इंस्ट्रक्शंस हाउ टू कंडक्ट अ स्टोरी व्हाट आर द इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट्स व्हाट डू वी नीड लेकिन इट वाज एट हिम्स ऑफ पाकिस्तान द डिफरेंस वाज कि ह्यूमंस ऑफ न्यूयॉर्क एज अ सिटी पाकिस्तान एज अ कंट्री तो तो मेरे अपने लैंग्वेज बैरियर्स भी थे. When I had to go to Sindh, Balochistan, Kashmir, Tarparkar, I did not know the languages, so I always had an interpreter with me. So at that time, इतना travel करने के बाद, इतने लोगों से मिलने के बाद, I just get this feeling when I'm talking to someone that this specific part and this specific chunk is important. As I was talking to Haya some time ago, is कि I put my phone on audio recording when I'm interviewing someone. तो पहले audio recording लगाने के बाद के लिए 15 मिनट की गुफ्तगू होती है, वो that is not important for the story. उसमें मैं पूछता हूँ आपका क्या नाम है, आपके कितने बहन भाई हैं, बीवी बच्चे हैं, that is the important questions. But that does not make a story. So there is a difference between a story and a case study. In case study, you have to include each and every particulars and every details. But in a story, you only have to pick and choose the chunks that are more important. So I mostly choose the snippets of the conversation that I believe is most important and that makes a person's story more attractive and readable for other people.
Before next question, Haya, आपने इतना ज़्यादा travel किया, इतनी सारी documentaries, सबसे ज़्यादा challenging कोई जैसा कि इसको आपको लगा हो कि ये चीज़ कवर होनी भी चाहिए, इस पर बात होनी भी चाहिए, लेकिन अगर बात की तो ये लेबल, ये फतवा, ये मसला, ये सब क्या? मासूमाना सवाल किया,
बहुत मासूमाना सवाल है और बहुत एंकर्स वाला सवाल किया है. तो हमारे मुल्क में एक सूबा है सबसे बड़ा जिसमें लोग सबसे कम हैं, उस पर रिपोर्ट करने में हमेशा बहुत मसला होता है. और जहाँ CPEC आ रहा है वहाँ उस सूबे के बहुत बड़े बड़े मसले हैं और हमें उनको वक्त पे रिजॉल्व करना होगा, नहीं तो हमारी बहुत मुसीबत आ सकती है और वो नहीं आनी चाहिए. सो आज लाइक आई सेड, मुझे तो मैं भी मासूमाना उसमें सच बोल देती हूँ, तो बस मैंने आपको नाम भी वगैरह बता दिया कि एक सूबा है और उसके अंदर मसले.
और अगर आप इससे ज़्यादा कुछ कहती तो मैं अंदाजा हो जाता कि आप लापता अफराद के मसले की बात कर रही हैं. अगला सवाल जी प्लीज़. हाँ,
Assalamualaikum. This is for both Haya and Ali. I wanted to ask how you convince people to share their life stories with you. आपने आमादा कैसे करके इतनी important?
That's a good question. Yeah. Starting from you है या?
ये बेसिकली मतलब जो पूरा गेम है एसेंशियली इंटरव्यूइंग का और लोगों से बात करने का और लोगों की ज़िंदगी के बारे में जानने का, वो it's a very organic process. इसमें वक्त लगता है, but at the same time I believe like I've come to believe that it's also a bit of a performance. So जब आप कैमरा लेके किसी के पास जाते हैं, मतलब अली जो है वो रिकॉर्डर और नोटबुक लेके जाते हैं, मैं वीडियो कैमरा लेके जाती हूँ, तो वो और ज़्यादा ऑफेंसिव होता है मेरे ख्याल में और उसका जो बैरियर है वो और ज़्यादा बड़ा होता है. लेकिन बेसिकली तरीका ये है कि आप कैमरा लेके जा रहे होते हैं और दूसरा शख्स हमेशा ये समझ रहा होता है कि आपके पास कि मेरे पास ताकत है क्योंकि मेरे पास कैमरा है. और जो सबसे बड़ी चीज़ और जो सबसे अहम चीज़ है जो हम सभी मतलब फिल्म मेकर्स आई थिंक कोशिश करते हैं, वो लोगों को ये एहसास दिलाने की कोशिश करते हैं कि कैमरा मेरे पास है मगर अथॉरिटी आपके पास है. आपको जब कहानी बतानी हो बताएं, आपको जितनी कहानी इस स्टेज पे बतानी हो आप बताएं. मेरे केस में डॉक्यूमेंट्री फिल्म मेकिंग में हमारे पास थोड़ी सी लिबर्टी अक्सर ये होती है कि डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज जो है वो सालों के टाइम पे रिलीज होती हैं या कुछ महीनों के टाइम पे बनती हैं, तो अक्सर ये चांस होता है अगर फिल्म का बजट अच्छा हो तो अक्सर ये चांस होता है कि आप एक से ज़्यादा दफ़ा उस फैमिली के पास जा सकते हैं. तो पहली बार जब आप जाएँ तो पहली बार आप बजाय इसके कि पहले आप उनसे सवाल करें, आप पहले उनको अपने बारे में बताएं ताकि वो ये महसूस कर सकें कि ठीक है आप किसी और शहर से आए हुए, ठीक है आपके बाल इतने छोटे हैं लेकिन आप उन्हीं की तरह हैं, आप उनसे मुख्तलिफ नहीं हैं. जब आप एक जो मार्शल की बात की ट्रीट पीपल लाइक ह्यूमन बीइंग्स, जब आप उनको ह्यूमिलिटी के साथ और आप उनको अदब से और रिस्पेक्ट से ट्रीट करते हैं तो कोई सवाल ही नहीं है कि लोग आपसे कोई बात छुपाएं. हो सकता है वो एक दफ़ा झिझकें, 2 दफ़ा झिझकें, मगर तीसरी मुलाकात में जो है वो सामने तो लोग पहली बार में बात कह जाते हैं लेकिन कैमरे के सामने भी तीसरी दफ़ा वो कर पाते हैं. और इसके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है कि आपको कल्चरल सेंसिटिविटी हो, आपको ये पता हो कि आपको आप कोशिश करें कि आप लगे कि आप उनके जैसे हैं और फिर वो आपको यकीन कर लेंगे और आपको ट्रस्ट कर लेंगे.
अली, कितना मुश्किल या आसान होता है कन्विंस करना कि अपनी ये कहानी बता दें सबको?
इनिशियली जब मैंने म्यूजिक पाकिस्तान स्टार्ट किया तो इट वाज honestly telling it was all about empathy. You do not have to sympathize with the person. You do not have to, कोई अगर बता रहा है कि मेरे वालिद की डेथ हुई और उनकी आंखों में आंसू आ गए तो आप ये नहीं कहेंगे चलो कोई बात नहीं, अल्लाह की मर्जी, चलो वो अच्छी जगह पर है. You do not know the pain. You do not know the pain that has caused those tears. You cannot say कि अगर कोई आपको अपनी रेप स्टोरीज बता रहा है कि I was being raped, I was harassed, तो आप आगे से कहें कि अल्लाह की मर्जी थी, चलो अल्लाह उसको सज़ा देगा, ये देगा. You do not know the pain these people have been going through. So it was all about empathy, it was all about listening. If you are a good listener and if you provide that room to other person, it is after you start the conversation, you tell them about the objective, you only have to listen and you have to give them the attention and the room they require. It was an initial process. लेकिन अब after a few years, after more than a couple of years, I started in March 2014, it's been a long time. अब most of the people already know about Imams of Pakistan. अब मुझे सिर्फ बताना पड़ता है, पहले कार्ड लेके फिरना पड़ता था, अब बताना पड़ता है Imams of Pakistan के बारे में. So everyone is just comfortable giving the story because they know कि लाखों लोग उसके बारे में पढ़ने वाले हैं. So it's simple for Imams of Pakistan at the moment.
लेकिन ये इसका एक नेगेटिव इम्पैक्ट नहीं होता कि जब उनको पता होगा कि लाखों लोग पढ़ने वाले हैं, तो वो वाली मेंटालिटी है जी वो हमारी कहानी बेच रहे हो अपनी दुकान चलाने के लिए. ये मीडिया पर भी बड़ा क्रिटिसिज्म होता है, तो ये वाली प्रॉब्लम
बहुत होता है. इवन क्योंकि Imams of Pakistan, I cannot travel all the time to every corner of Pakistan. तो we have this tool on our website कि यहाँ पे लोग आते हैं, खुद से अपनी स्टोरी सबमिशन कर सकते हैं. बट देन अगेन जो स्टोरी सबमिशंस आती हैं उसमें से 80% gets rejected just because we feel कि उसमें exaggeration है and there isn't enough tool, enough information available, evidence available जिससे हम स्टोरी को वेरीफाई कर सकें. बट इन पर्सन जैसे मैंने 4000 स्टोरी नरेट कर चुका हूँ, 4000 में से मैंने 3500-3000 पोस्ट की हैं. तो बाकी पोस्ट ना करने की रीज़न ये थी बिकॉज आई डिड नॉट हैव एनी एविडेंस अवेलेबल.
राइट.
सो एवरीथिंग दैट इज अवेलेबल इज ऑथेंटिक ऑन Imams of Pakistan is based on.
राइट सर. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन प्लीज. वालेकुम सलाम.
माय नेम इज Khalid एंड आई वर्क फॉर
मेरा हया के साथ एक क्वेश्चन था. हया, आपने अपनी स्पीच में आपने बताया था कि हाउ टू एम्पैथाइज विद लोकल कम्युनिटी एज वेल, और यहाँ पे जो कम्युनिटी पाकिस्तानी कम्युनिटी एग्जिस्ट करती है उसको कैसे एम्पैथाइज किया जाए, उसको किस तरीके से. मुझे इसमें जो हमें प्रॉब्लम नज़र आती है वो ये होती है कि यहाँ पे चूँकि हम एक होस्ट कंट्री में हैं तो उसके अपने लॉज हैं जिसको हमें मनुज़ खातिर रखना होता है. तो आई जस्ट वांट टू नो कि हाउ टू टैकल ऑल दोज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स, बिकॉज हमें ये जो चीज़ है नहीं मिलती है एंड वी आर नॉट. इसमें आपको एक मैं एग्जांपल कोट करूँ, जैसे मोस्ट ऑफ द केसेस जो पाकिस्तान के यहाँ पे होते हैं या एम्पैथाइज करने की बात करती हूँ कि वीज़े निकल जाते हैं, जॉब छूट जाती है, देयर under loans and they're under stress for that. Now, if you start empathizing with those sort of people, right, it goes against the law. Right. So how can we do that? I mean, this is something which I really want.
Barriers.
वो तो बात सही है. तो ज़ाहिर है मतलब कानून तोड़ने वालों से आप एम्पैथाइज मतलब उसूलन तो उनसे भी एम्पैथाइज करना ही चाहिए, मगर ज़ाहिर है अब होस्ट कंट्री में भी मतलब हम पाकिस्तान में भी हो तो उसूलन हमें कानून तोड़ने वालों की उनसे तो कोऑपरेशन नहीं कर रहे होना चाहिए. लेकिन मेरे ख्याल में जहाँ तक मेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग है उस मुल्क की वो यही है कि कानून तोड़ने वाले बहुत कम हैं और जो कानून को फॉलो करने वाले और हलाल रोज़ी कमाने वाले हैं वो ज़्यादा हैं. तो उनसे तो हम बात कर सकते हैं. मतलब मेरे ख्याल में बात करने का कल्चर पाकिस्तान में भी खैर कम ही है और मेरे ख्याल यहाँ पर भी उतना ही कम है क्योंकि हम बहुत बेसिकली मतलब मैं सऊदी अरेबिया में सलमान की तरह अनफॉर्चुनेटली पैदा हुई थी और मैंने मतलब मेरी ज़िंदगी अल्लाह का शुक्र है कि सिर्फ शुरू के 8 साल ही वहाँ पर गुजरे. उसके बाद मैं कराची आ गई तो मैं मतलब आज जो कुछ भी हूँ कराची की वजह से ही हूँ. लेकिन मैंने वहाँ पर यही देखा कि वहाँ पर जो सर्कल होता था हमारा देसियों का वो बहुत ही ख़ास तरह का होता था जिसके अंदर आपके या तो स्कूल के दोस्त होते थे या कॉलेज के दोस्त होते थे या वो लोग होते थे जो आपके अम्मी अबू ने अपने फैमिली फ्रेंड्स चूज़ किए हुए होते थे. तो बात करें और ऐसे बहुत से लोग हैं डेफिनेटली यहाँ पर जो कानून को नहीं तोड़ते और उनकी भी बहुत सी नीड्स हो सकती हैं. हो सकता है उनके कुछ बच्चों को स्कूल भेजने की ज़रूरत हो और वो स्कूल ना जा पाते हों तो आप मशल की तरह का कोई सेटअप जो है वो कर सकते हैं और किसी एक मजदूर के एक बच्चे को इंटरनेट रिलेटेड एजुकेशन दे सकते हैं. सो द एवेन्यूज आर बाउंडलेस. दैट कांट स्टॉप अस इवन इफ वी आर इन अ होस्ट कंट्री. One more question. Todd, I have one question for you. Since you have been Since you have been involved with the disaster management in Pakistan, well, I have also worked a lot on disaster management. We're sending a lot of reliefs from UAE and from Oman to Pakistan. But the impression of the expatriate community overall here is that probably our money has been misused. So what is your experience about it? Because we got to know about it. We have actually collected a lot of money. We do a lot of auction shows and we do a lot of activity here. We send money to Pakistan and there is a scam on it. So what's your experience about the usage of the expatriate money which goes into our country? What's your experience?
I didn't hear every part of this question. Could you?
Like if I'm interpreting it correctly, your question is that there are people living outside Pakistan.
Yeah, the expat community.
Yeah, and sending lots of money to their country. They want to, but at the end of the day, they, you know, one fine day they come up, they come to know that there was a scandal or someone has looted their money. So, you know, that's a question plus a catharsis, I think. Yeah.
Well, my personal experience has been mostly doing my work with my NGO, and we have a really good auditing system, and I think that there's a lot of great organizations that are doing great work that people can support. I think they should do their homework. You know, if you do your homework, you can find all kinds of organizations that are doing fantastic work. I mean, just off the top of my head, you know, TCF, LRBT, DIL, Human Development Foundation, Hunter Foundation, you know, so there, you know, there's always fraud. There is fraud in the world, and there is people that take advantage. When there's a disaster, there's opportunists that come out of the woodwork. I saw it at Hurricane Katrina in America. So it is there, it's everywhere. So the donor, I think, should just be very careful and research it, and not just take anyone's word for it, but actually read the website of people, ask questions, and ask others who are working there and who have donated, and then a picture starts to emerge as to who's doing good work and who might be a little questionable.
Right. Next question. अच्छा, please सवाल को थोड़ा सा precise अगर रखेंगे तो, you know, so that more people get chance.
Question is for the storytellers on stage, and specifically Faisal and Avatar. You know, you guys have the power to change narratives, and I'm wondering how do you sort of make sure that you don't perpetuate stereotypes, because that's very easy to do in comedy. And I was just wondering if you could sort of expand on that.
So that basically happens a lot in comedy, especially हमारे पाकिस्तान में कॉमेडी को समझा जाता है दूसरे की शक्ल से कमेंट करना, मोटा, काला, छोटा, सिंधी, मेमन, दिस एंड दैट. सो हमारी बहुत स्टीरियोटाइप्स हैं और बहुत डीपली इनग्रेन्ड हैं. हमारे लिए बहुत नॉर्मल होता है किसी को बोल देना ये सब चीज़ें, और प्यार से बोलते हैं कभी कभी हम इस तरह की चीज़ें ना, कल्लू, you know, I think it's cute. But especially with my comedy, I make a genuine conscious effort not to indulge into stereotypes or into labeling people. Specifically, मुझे लोग TV और फिल्म का पूछते हैं कि why don't you venture into television, और तुम्हें इतने साल हो गए हैं तुम नहीं करते हो. A lot of people don't know this, but I did venture into television. I did the Hina Dilbazi show. Wasim was on the first episode. और even though इतने renowned लोग involved थे, वो देख के मुझे इतना बुरा लगा कि मैंने TV इस बात को 1.5 साल हो गए TV फिर नहीं किया.
क्या उसमें क्या बुरा लगा?
आप नहीं, आप मुनासिब थे.
और ना मुनासिब चीजें क्या कहने वाला?
Generally comedy basically ये थी कि अच्छा कोई मोटा शख्स आ गया, अच्छा उसको ना शो का की बहस बना दो, you know, लोग हंसते हैं. कोई थोड़ा सा डार्क स्किन का आ गया तो उसको जो है उसके सिर्फ काले होने पे जोक्स करो. या फिर औरतों का हो गया तो कि औरतें ऐसी करती हैं, जैसे मैंने स्पीच में आई मेंशन अर्लियर कि औरतें जेलस होती हैं, औरतें बैकबाइट करती हैं. मैं ट्रूथ में भी लोग पूछते हैं कि वो औरतें कैसे संभालती हो तुम, इतनी तुम लोग आपस में लड़ते रहते हो गए. बट दैट्स एक्चुअली नॉट ट्रू. हम जब मिक्स ग्रुप्स में होता है तब ज़्यादा लड़ते हैं. औरतें एक्चुअली इतनी लड़ाका नहीं होती जितना लोगों को लगता है. सो बेसिकली आप अपने इंडिविजुअली आप कोशिश कर सकते हो कि आप इन सब चीज़ों में इन्वॉल्व नहीं हो. मैं कोशिश करती हूँ कि मेरी कॉमेडी में, मेरी ट्रूथ की कॉमेडी में कभी कभी आते हैं सबके बायस के सामने. मैं उनको स्पेसिफिकली आई ट्रेन द गर्ल्स नॉट टू रिलाई ऑन द स्टीरियोटाइप्स, बिकॉज बहुत आसान होता है इस तरह की बातों पे जोक कर देना और लोग हंसते हैं और बकवास की बात होती है. तो हम इस तरह से बहुत रिस्ट्रिक्टेड है. बट आई थिंक दैट्स हाउ यू हैव टू. आप अपने से स्टार्ट करते हो और फिर पीपल फॉलो सूट. अब जो बाकी इम्प्रोव ट्रूप्स आने लगे वो भी इस सोच को दिमाग में लेके चलते हैं और इसी हिसाब की कॉमेडी करते हैं कि यू नो इट डज नॉट हैपन. समटाइम्स कॉमेडी इज माइंडलेस, बट एटलीस्ट हम कॉन्शियस एफर्ट करेंगे कि कॉमेडी विद मैसेज हम करें तो सोसाइटी चेंज होगी. लोग हमें देख के बहुत रंग पकड़ते हैं, एंड हमारी ये रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि हम नैरेटिव को अगर चेंज कर सकें तो हम वी सी टू इट दैट एक्चुअली हैपेंस.
What is a poor picture portrayed on the TV shows, especially between 7 p.m. to the 11th hour? Why there is a bad picture shown of Pakistan? Don't you think we are an important tool for Pakistanis out in here watching the Pakistan?
ये सवाल किससे
आपसे
मुझसे मैं जब भी
Mr. Tad, he has come from US and he's there in Pakistan. Why can't you show that? Isn't that a positive picture?
हाँ
Positive picture?
हाँ
हमारे यहाँ सर क्यों देखो?
I am still confused if the question is from me or
सर आप ही जवाब दे दें।
अरे ठीक ओके ठीक है मैं चलिए ये काम भी कर लेता हूँ साथ मैं सारे काम कर लेता हूँ अभी रमजान आएगा तो आप देखिएगा अच्छा ये सवाल वैसे फिर हमसे बहुत होता है कि जनाब आप और ये बड़ी लंबी बहस है इन शॉर्ट इस इशू को भी हया ने भी एड्रेस किया था अपनी प्रेजेंटेशन में भाई दो माइंड सेट्स हैं हमें ऐसा लगता है कि सच अगर कड़वा भी है ना भाई तो उस पर बात होनी चाहिए स्टेट ऑफ डिनायल में नहीं रहना चाहिए हाँ हर सच्ची बात भी करने की नहीं होती है लेकिन हम अक्सर ना हमने कुछ टर्म्स डिफाइन कर ली हैं ये सियासतदान पे ज़्यादा तनकीद करो तो जमहूरियत को खतरा हो जाता है सहाफ़ी पे ज़्यादा तनकीद हो तो मीडिया की आज़ादी खतरे में पड़ जाती है और अल्लाह ना करे अगर आपने किसी ऐसे आदमी को तनकीद कर दी जिसने कोई मुक़द्दस वर्दी पहनी हुई है तो आप या गद्दार हैं या आजकल नए फैशन के तहत आप काफिर भी करार दिए जा सकते हैं भाई जो बात अगर गलत भी है अगर कोई ऐसी बात है जो कि एक कड़वा सच है तो मेरा ये ख्याल है कि कर देना चाहिए जब भी मीडिया पाकिस्तान का पूरा इमेज दिखाता है इसकी बात होती है तो मैं ये कहता हूँ आई हैव माय ओन ओपिनियन यू कैन डिसएग्री ऑब्वियसली कि हम अपने आप से पूछ लें ज़रा कि क्या मामला है हम क्या एक अच्छा मैं भी सिर्फ इस सवाल के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में बात कर रहा हूँ ओवरऑल मैं समझता हूँ कि चीज़ें पाकिस्तान में बहुत बेहतर हो रही हैं मैं बहुत पॉजिटिव हूँ एक और मसला भी है मैं समझ होता हूँ जब मैं टीवी में बैठ के ये बात करता हूँ ना कि पाकिस्तान में बहुत बेहतरी हो रही है देखो सीपैक बन रहा है देखो बन रहा है अगला जमना मैं क्या सुनता हूँ हाँ जी मरियम नवाज शरीफ ने कितने का लिफाफा दिया था ये भी तो प्रॉब्लम है ना ये प्रॉब्लम है ठीक है हाँ जी नवाज शरीफ साहब से बड़ा मुतासिर लग रहा है ये भी मसला है लेकिन मेरा ये ख्याल है कि क्या हम एक बहुत अच्छा प्रोडक्ट है जिसका बहुत बुरा इमेज दिखाता है मीडिया या हम अभी एक अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बन रहे हैं अभी बहुत सारी चीज़ें जो कि ठीक होनी है एक सफ़र जारी है जिसका मीडिया भी मोर और लेस वैसा ही इमेज दिखाता है मेरा ख्याल है दूसरी वाली बात है उसमें ज़्यादा सच्चाई है बट एज आई सेड बहुत तफसीली बात है और मैं यहाँ पे कोई 15 मिनट की प्रेजेंटेशन तो नहीं कर रहा था लंबे जवाब नहीं जा सकता मीडिया को भी बहुत सारा जगहों पे बेहतरी की ज़रूरत ऑब्वियसली है बहुत जगहों पर सर अगला सवाल सर
So just a minute if I can add to it it's not only about showing a positive image नेगेटिव इमेज दिखाने की ज़रूरत इसलिए ज़्यादा है कि अगर ना दिखाया जाए तो हम उसको डिस्करेज नहीं कर सकते वी विल एक्चुअली बी नरिशिंग इट वो उसकी मशरूम ग्रोथ होती है जब भी हम इस तरह करते हैं और ऑन ह्यूमन्स ऑफ पाकिस्तान ऑलरेडी वी कॉल आवरसेल्व्स पॉजिटिवली बायस्ड क्योंकि हम नेगेटिव स्टोरीज शेयर करते ही नहीं हैं इफ इट्स अबाउट नेगेटिविटी इट्स अबाउट हेट स्पीच इट्स अबाउट स्पेसिफिक रिलीजन हम वो नहीं करते बट देन अगेन वी फील कि हम हम गलत कर रहे हैं इफ द डिजिटल मीडिया इज शोइंग द नेगेटिव साइड वी आर ओनली शोइंग द पॉजिटिव साइड वी आर डूइंग इट रॉन्ग देयर इज ऑलवेज अ वे टू कम्युनिकेट थिंग्स इन अ बेटर वे इन अ वे कि आप वी कॉल इट अ सैंडविच अप्रोच कि आप सबसे पहले प्रॉब्लम आप सबसे पहले एक जनरल सिचुएशन लें फिर प्रॉब्लम डिस्कस करें देन क्लोज द सैंडविच विद अ सॉल्यूशन टू इट सो डिजिटल मीडिया कैसे अब मशरफ खान के केस को मीडिया अगर ना दिखाता वी वुड एक्चुअली बी नरिशिंग वी वुड एक्चुअली बी सपोर्टिंग दीस पीपल कि कोई मीडिया भी उसके बारे में बात नहीं कर रहा उसको दिखाने की वो इतना बड़ा इशू था कि उसको इतना हाईलाइट करने की ज़रूरत थी जो कि सोशल मीडिया ने भी किया और डिजिटल मीडिया ने भी किया अब अगर उसमें देखा जाए टीवी रेडियो सोशल मीडिया इंटरनेट दे ऑल आर वन मीडियम दे आर इंफॉर्मेशन जहाँ से इंफॉर्मेशन डिसबर्स होती है सो इन चीज़ों को कलेक्टिवली देखना चाहिए अगर डिजिटल मीडिया नेगेटिव दिखा रहा है तो सोशल मीडिया के ऊपर देयर आर अदर पीपल ब्लॉगर्स एक्टिविस्ट राइटर्स जो कि पॉजिटिव इमेज भी दिखा रहे हैं सो कलेक्टिवली अगर देखा जाए तो पाकिस्तान के अंदर सिर्फ टीवी से नहीं जाता पाकिस्तान के अंदर सिर्फ इंटरनेट से भी जाता है रेडियो से भी जाता है प्रिंट मीडिया से भी जाता है सो इट्स अ कलेक्टिव इमेज द कलेक्टिव मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म दैट आर वर्किंग टुगेदर टुवर्ड्स across this part.
We have last two questions.
Last two questions, please keep it precise and within 4 minutes. Yeah? Or questions within 20 seconds, all right? Within 20 seconds.
अगर आप आखिरी सवाल की शक्ल दे सकते हो जी 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 प्लीज
If from the outside perspective, like if you again you talk about media.
Sorry, the question is from.
The question is for anyone.
It's for anyone.
It's for anyone. It has to do with media, but just the first part is if you had, CNN, BBC, Fox, Financial Times, and Wall Street Journal in one room, the heads, and you had the opportunity to tell them in a short sentence or very, very slim way, this is what you're doing that's hurting our country, please do this, or like, what would that be? That's my first question.
Okay. If we have to describe our country in shortest possible words to a foreign media, is that the question?
No. What are they doing that is hurting our country in terms of how they are depicting it?
Okay, who would like to answer this one?
We spoke that they were showing the 2% that's negative.
सबने सवाल अलग अलग इंटरप्रेट किया है.
Earlier in the program, we said that the media depicts, maybe international media depicts the 2% that's negative, right? And everybody sees that and doesn't see the positive parts of Pakistan. So if you had the heads of all these organizations in one room, what would you tell them?
I'd take a picture of Mr. Todd and play it on the headlines.
On every single channel and let that speak louder than anything.
Well, unfortunately, the media has its agenda. They have an agenda everywhere. They want to make money. And sometimes the agenda is to have some scapegoat countries out there. And Pakistan is one of those countries they love to use as a scapegoat. So I would tell them, if I was in the room with them all, stop using the lies of omission. Start telling the other 98% that we never hear about to the rest of the world. I would challenge them to be more responsible. Because if they claim to be truth tellers, then they shouldn't just tell that 2% that's the truth about that 2%. They should tell the other 98% so people have things in perspective. Because perspective is completely out of whack with reality. When I've been to Bannu, I've lived in Bannu and Swat and Charsada and AJK and Interior Sindh, and I'm seeing progress there. 5 years ago, all of these places didn't have internet service. Now they have high speed, so more kids and more people have access to information around the world and to be able to communicate with people around the world. So I think that's another progress indicator.
Correct.
So that's what needs to happen. So we need to jump over the media and get straight people to people and kind of try to cut the media out.
Right. The last question of this session.
Assalamualaikum. मेरा नाम असद है. मेरा क्वेश्चन है मिशन से. मैं ये पूछना चाह रहा हूँ कि आप इंटरनेट स्टडी बच्चों को स्कूल के हवाले से देते हैं. तो मैंने आई थिंक 2008 में टॉक की एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की फर्स्ट एड हेल्थ एंड हाइजीन इस्लामाबाद में कुछ स्कूल्स में हमने इस पर काम किया था. तो मैंने देखा है कि बच्चों की जो हाइजीन है और हेल्थ बहुत पुअर होती है. तो आप इस पर भी कुछ काम करते हैं या करेंगे या फ्यूचर में करेंगे?
So आपका सवाल है हम बच्चों की हेल्थ एंड हाइजीन नॉलेज पे कोई काम करते हैं या
Yes.
The short answer is indirectly, always indirectly. क्योंकि जब भी हम किसी भी क्लासरूम environment में काम करते हैं, जैसे हमने TCF में किया था for 6 months, or in our own environment, this is a part of, it's intertwined in the rest of the curriculum. So we don't do a special program as such, मगर हमारा पूरा focus ये होता है कि the teacher is like a model for the student, and so any values that she or he has, the children will also pick those up in an authentic way. तो हमारा ऐसा कोई curriculum नहीं है कि health and hygiene, but it is part and parcel of everything else, just like respecting my classmates, setting the rules of the class, collaborating, इस तरह की चीज़ें हम उसको साथ लेकर चलते हैं.
Right. Okay. So very much इस सेशन के लिए हमारे पास इतना ही, और आई एम श्योर कि वक्त भी बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया है. उन लोगों से माजरत जिनके भी सवाल थे और हम नहीं दे सके बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली a lot of time. And once again, thank you all for being such a lovely audience, and thank you very much for all the men.
For sharing priceless experiences, projects, advice, stories, and so much more, we would like to give a token of our gratitude and appreciation to our guests today. For that, I'd like to call to the stage for the awarding ceremony Dr. Zia Ul Hassan, President of Pakistan Association, Dubai. Dr. Jamila Haq, Chairperson of Pakistan Youth Forum, and Mr. Aneek from HBL. Can we please have on stage Ms. Haya Fatma? Mr. Salman Qureshi. Mr. Todd Shea. Guys, I know it's the end of the day, लेकिन enthusiasm थोड़ा low जा रहा है. I can't hear you guys. Mr. Todd Shea. Ms. Faiza Salim. I'd like to also call to the stage now Mr. Mustafa Qasim from Midas Safety. Can we have on stage please Mr. Atif bin Arif? Ms. Mashal Chaudhary. Mr. Ali Heather. Mr. Wasim Badami. Thank you. Could I please With that, I'd like to call on Dr. Zia to the stage for a few words.
I'm not going to try and say names because I often get them wrong. I'd like my guests to join me in first of all thanking our audience today. Because each one of you as a volunteer, as a member of the Pakistan community means a lot to the Pakistan Association. Thank you all for coming to the Pakistan Association. Thank you all for coming to Pakistan Association to enjoy this wonderful presentation. I'm sure each one of us and each one of you have enjoyed this wonderful presentation and the celebration. Celebrating Pakistan, its youth, its culture and its nature. Indeed, sitting outside of Pakistan is always a great experience and brings not only to oneself and the hearts a lot of value and meaning, but then listening it, seeing it from those who have just come from Pakistan to share it with us was wonderful. Thank you very much, our guests today. मैं थोड़ी सी कोशिश करूँगा बैलेंस करने की अंग्रेज़ी और उर्दू को, जैसे हसीब साहब ने कहा, लेकिन उसमें कभी कभी पश्तो शामिल हो जाती है तो थोड़ा सा और भी मुश्किल हो जाता है सुनने वालों को। ये सब कुछ देखकर और सुनकर न सिर्फ खुशी होती है बल्कि खुद अपने लिए पाकिस्तान एसोसिएशन के लिए, इसकी एग्जीक्यूटिव कमेटी के लिए एक जिम्मेदारी का एहसास बढ़ जाता है कि ये हमारा ही काम है कि हम एक ऐसा माहौल पैदा करें, एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म अपने यूथ को दें यहाँ पर कि वो इससे भी ज़्यादा बेहतर प्रोग्राम कर सकें और एक कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ अपनी सोचों को अपने जहनों का इस्तेमाल में लाते हुए इनोवेटिव आइडियाज़ के साथ ऐसी प्रेजेंटेशंस दे सकें जैसे आज हमने देखी है। Hence, it's not just about celebration, it's also about thinking behind, putting one's efforts, and as we heard, shortlisting matters, verifying matters, and sharing those matters in a way that will create an impact. All of this together is what we saw and what we heard. I'm very grateful, all of you, and inshallah promise that here in Pakistan Association Dubai and all the Pakistani community in Dubai will always welcome you, those guests who are visiting tonight, to this association. And inshallah, as you heard earlier, you will be joining us in our new building next time, inshallah. And can I, in the end, everybody to join in thanking PYF in putting together this wonderful evening for us. Pakistan Zindabad, PYF Tabindabad.
Thank you, Dr. Zia. So we're just about to conclude our ceremony, and before that, I just felt, as a chairperson, it's very, very, very important for me to highlight the team, the organizers who have been running around, who have been staying here till 3 a.m. All the decor, all the setup you see here is not done by, it's all done by our team, the youth. I really appreciate and I thank you all from the bottom of my heart. And I feel when we talk about doing something and doing what you love, your passion, I think this is our own small ways to execute and to do something in our small ways to serve or to contribute towards our community. I request Pakistan Youth Forum team to join us on the stage for everyone to know that this is the youth which has been running around for I think almost a month trying to coordinate with the speakers and just designing the event from scratch. So thank you, Pakistan Youth Forum.